What is good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy King, guys. We're about to check out Mr. Andrew versus Brittany and company on Just Pearly Things, guys. Let's check this out. It's gonna be heat. It's a long one, so I'm gonna probably split this video up into little parts. After I upload the full one, so I'm gonna upload the full one, then split it into little parts, so you guys can see the little segments that are in this video. So yeah, without any further ado, I've skipped the little first bit because it looks like it's like a promo or something. Allow that. Straight into the guest intros. Let's not waste any time. Let us go. It's gonna be sweet. Seems like an ambush.
Have everyone on the panel introduce yourself. Say your name, your age, your relationship status, where you're from, and just a little bit about you.
Straight smoke. I'm excited about this.
My name is Brittany Renner. I am 30 years old. I'm single
Nani?
as a Pringle. I have a 1.5-year-old son, and I'm here to learn something new today.
I'll help you with that.
Jeez. Jeez. Look at this smile. My ear to ear, green like a Cheshire cat. Yeah.
Sir, they brought me here to look for trouble. It's now.
Yeah, the Riz is undefeated. The Riz is undefeated.
I
The
am
Riz.
freshly 30. I am
The Riz.
not ready to mingle yet.
Stop playing with the boy,
And
man.
Something interesting about me. Well, I'm a smart woman. I'm here to.
I'm just about to eat some of this jerky, so
Sagittarius.
gotta get those gains.
Be nice. Come on, I wasn't rude.
Andrew Tate, 36 years old. I cannot disclose personal information because, of course, my enemies are after me. But, yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always am. Perhaps somebody will say something remotely insightful, but at least I get a clementine if not, so I'm chilling with my orange.
And it's
Pearly, keeping it healthy.
Esther, the Nigerian queen. I'm here to
Queen of what?
entertain, to disagree with somebody in here.
Oh.
This one.
But
Already on
really,
smoke.
I am looking at somebody.
It's our favorite duo. It's our favorite duo.
But no, for real though, I'm just here to have a good
Respect your
time.
elders.
Just get some vibe.
You know what teach you that in
And
Niger?
In terms of my relationship status, I am single, doing interviews. Not just going
I'm not
for
surprised.
anybody.
If you're challenging your elders, you must be.
Auntie Jenny here, 54. I'm here to cut out the bullshit. Simple.
I like that.
Okay.
On smoke.
Bet you do.
Yeah, well, you have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
And they're not direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Why are you
Don't
being
be-
mean
don't be
already?
I don't really
Say
care.
it.
If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't beat
She's
around
quiet.
the bush. Just say it.
So
'Cause if
basically,
I've got
I'll
something
say
to
it.
say,
I already got my
just say
Auntie
it.
is on her. She's quiet. Why is she quiet?
Yeah.
I beg, give the girl a chance to speak now and relax.
What girl?
Hey.
What have I said?
This one.
What have I said?
I'm addressing the
What
elephant in
have
the
I
room,
said?
innit?
Listen,
No,
I don't believe in
no.
elephants in the
Give
room.
yourself
If
up,
there's
man.
something to say, just
No.
say it. Don't beat around
Auntie's
the
on-
bush. If
Auntie's
you've got
on
something
point.
to say to me,
Smoke.
I am here. Talk to my face. There should be no elephant in the room because this ain't no zoo. You understand? So if you've got something to say, just say it. We're all big, no, I'm just saying, we're just all big people here. So if I want
Okay.
to say something to you, I'm going
Auntie
to say
is
something to
out
you
here
straight like I
dropping
normally do.
knowledge.
If I've got something to say to Esther, I'm going to tell Esther. Whether she likes it or not, I don't really care. Andrew Tate, my son's older than him, so I don't give a damn who he is. I'm going to just say what I got to say. So whoever don't like it, that's tough. Don't come.
Yo, she has the Uzi on
You
this,
missed
bro.
out, Brittany. I feel picked on.
Okay, so
And Brittany too, right? Even Pearl too. Feel better now.
yeah, Auntie gave me Auntie was yelling at me in wife school the other day. But she doesn't give a shit.
Auntie's on it.
So my
Auntie's
first
on it.
question is, what is the #1 problem facing men today, and what is the #1 problem facing women today?
I'll say something.
Come on,
Because
ladies.
everybody's
Everybody's
gonna
going to educate
you know,
me.
the number one problem.
Answer all the questions. Come on, tell
The
me.
number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
That's a good paradigm to start from because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
what? It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper-competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. Because, no, but it is, because women choose.
Don't say shift
right?
blame.
Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't.
They shouldn't
give a shit
even.
about themselves. And a woman.
That is the nature of the game, survival of the fittest. Biologically, historically, that is the paradigm that they had to live in. So they have almost a certain level of epigenetics encoded into them from behavioral traits. The same way dogs are bred for certain traits were passed on that allowed people to survive, and some of those were behavioral traits, and those behavioral traits were to take care of number one, numero uno. So if Genghis comes through the hood, kills all your men, you gotta do what you gotta do to get to the next level. If you resist, you fight back, you could end up your genes not passed on. So those who are more compliant, more submissive, made it through. So hey, spitting.
A woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And is funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never gonna have. And it's becoming harder and harder, and you end up with people
Facts.
top G's who own
Stay on your
everything on the
grind.
planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing, and there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
Well,
Should I say the problem
I
with
would
women?
say.
I'll tell you.
Well, everybody's got a chance to talk.
Shut up and have my clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes.
Health
both.
is wealth.
It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Women are not accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why
0%.
just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
Yeah,
both.
It is
definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, et cetera, is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think, I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing. Ever.
Because don't forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
They
saying-
can look sexy at a size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
Wow.
See, I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with what you just said, because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change. They're not accountable for themselves. They think that because
It's not a requirement. It's not. It's like this delusional self-competition within themselves. It's the same with like dudes hitting gym like super hard. Like as long as you're hitting the gym 4 times a week, you are doing better than 90% of the people out there. So that's all you need to do. But there's people who take it to the extreme where they get jacked and they get them, I was about to say the Ronnie Coleman muscles. And it's like, bro, that's too far. That's too far. Balance. Balance is key.
because they're a man, you're gonna be attracted to them. No.
Same with the ladies. They don't balance it out. They go to the extreme. They think, oh my God, the other girls have got BBLs, they got lip fillers, I need to do that too. But most guys aren't attracted to that anyway. They don't care about that. It's not that deep. But they think it's that deep. Because again, same with the guys looking at fitness, other fitness guys, they want to get to that level. So they disregard everything that, the opposite gender wants from them. And they say, you know what, fuck it. I'll just do what I need to do because I think that's what will get me results.
No. Like, you can't be fat.
It's crazy business.
You stay at home, you're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not going to want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing. Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not happy to change. No, they're not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women
It's
are
not that
doing it
deep.
for themselves.
It's not that
Because
deep.
the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman.
Auntie is on point. It's not that deep, bruh. Natural all the way. Genuinely prefer people who are natural looking. They embrace who they are as a person. Because then you don't get lied to, and your kids will come out looking how you expect them to come out looking. Ain't no surprises there. If your girl's been done up to the high heavens looking like some next Barbie doll, you don't know what she looked like before. You're gonna have to find archived pictures to see what she looked like before. That's a no-go. No-go.
Change your stinking attitude, then put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat, the man will if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make something, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. The women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves.
Auntie.
What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation, and can't sit on a plane because her arse has been injected or been interfered with? She got to lie there on her stomach. Do you think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house, she's got to put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman. Ooh. And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
The scars.
By the time you take
Auntie, lay down the hair.
Before they change
Sister,
their makeup.
lay it down.
I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women will go out there and they would want to change this, they want to change.
Yo, Auntie's cooking. You can even see it on Andrew's face. Auntie is cooking. She is rinsing this rubber. There is no comeback to this. There is no comeback to this. Auntie is on point. And that's that wisdom that comes with age. A lot of these people need to start following people like Aristotle on Instagram, the pages that quote Aristotle, that quote Socrates, because that will teach you something about life.
Change that, all the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook. Learn to wash by hand. Learn to please a man.
That is so outdated,
That's what you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
She's that girl.
That's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
She's right, bro.
It's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys picked me up from the airport. When we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as well.
No, but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. It was a street interview, and I asked the guys, "Would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook?" And most guys
they want this.
But I think that's
for
more,
the quick satisfaction.
But I think that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm trying to say is that if all the women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down. They want a man, right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can suck head just as good as any old tramp on the street. And keep your man and have a man.
Yo, Auntie, I don't know how they even argue against Auntie, man. Auntie's got all the wisdom.
I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't say attraction's not important, though.
It is important, but it is important, but it's diminishing returns because at the end of the day, the things that matter are the things in that person's character. That's what's going to take you those 52 years of marriage, instead of 10, and then it's done.
Is not important though.
It is important.
For you to initially, exactly. A man is not gonna find you attractive and then because you can cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's gonna find you attractive and he's gonna.
Let's ask Andrew.
Andre, would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, well, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook. Because I'm top G. But to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster, because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong, because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better jobs. It's why I want more
Facts.
money. It's why I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you've just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Without
That's what men
complaining.
want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean, I know there's
Facts.
about this. Because
Have
this
you
is,
had the
There's only Glock 3000, ain't no other.
3,000?
Exactly, because 3000 is the only model that exists. Ain't nothing else beyond that. Once you hit that, it's over.
Now, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say
I don't want
something?
to hear that.
Yo, Brittany's loading. Yo, Brittany was loading. Error. Yo. In her head, she was like, damn. Shit, so I've had it backwards this whole time. Every time I go up to, meet a dude and I tell him what I could do, sexually, that was me making the wrong move. You can see it in her eyes. She's calculating like, gosh, I fucked it. And she can see now. Look at her. Look.
What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No.
It's settling in. The understanding is settling in. The acknowledgement of what has happened in her life, realizing the value lost, is just settled
Someone
in.
who's running around talking about sucking dick can make me look
Sheesh.
good. So I lose interest completely and utterly, and that's the truth. So
Sheesh! The head nod as well. You see what I'm saying? It's sinking in. It's sunk in. She's like, bro, this is right. She calculated it. She was like, oh, shit, I've been messing up. Damn, he's spitting game. Damn, he's right.
what she's saying is
Sheesh.
completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Exactly.
Sagittarius spoke.
Facts.
about the truth.
Even Niger
That's
is
true.
nodding.
Look,
My
It's a
man's a
Clementine.
Sagittarius.
Keeps you
Listen,
hyped.
well,
My man's a
so
Sagittarius.
basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker of between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf. Because our problems are on a
The consequences of bad decisions. The consequences, bro. What? No. If you are in a lane, focus on your lane. Don't focus on what the 1% are doing, because that's not you. You are not the 1%. Don't focus on what the 1% are doing. If you want to get there, focus on what the other 50% are doing trying to get there. You have to focus on what you need to do to get where you want to go. Don't focus on what the 1% are doing and the problems they have, because those are not your problems. And if they're creating a bad situation for you, that's just an indicator that you need to level up. You need to boost your net worth. You need to boost your social acumen. You need to boost your, as he said, status. Your status. You need to, you boost it. Your status.
on a societal level, less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
This is natural. This has been the condition in nature. There is barely any animal in the animal kingdom. There's barely any animals that don't compete for status and positioning in their groups, their herds, their schools. This is nature. This is what they do. This is what we do. Lions, look at the lion prides. They go in trying to take over other lion prides. This is the point. You have to establish it, create your own legacy. When a male lion cub hits a certain age, he gets kicked out of his tribe because he's like, bro, you ain't fucking in here. You gotta find your own tribe. So he goes out, roams the desert, roams the savannah till he finds his own pride, takes over, and creates his own legacy. That's the game. There is no escaping it. The problem is, that's not the problem. That is nature. Nature has been this way. It has set it up that way. The only way we evolve past this is to take away our human brains, is to take away that the fight or flight responses, the those actions that we don't have control over. The fact that we don't control our breathing, those are automated responses. Same with fight or flight, the need to procreate, the need to do all these things. It's biology, it's nature, so we can't fight against this. The only way to fight against this is to implant a chip and, alter certain shit, Elon, I see you.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
It's
is
always been that way.
Yeah.
But then think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this
that's
is
the
why
nature of the
it feels very
beast.
good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well.
But
that is out
you
there. But
perpetuate
the
it.
reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are
It is.
victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try
Don't
to
be
make
a
it about
victim.
men and women. Is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women.
They're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas.
This
I'm
is
not here to
this
fight
is
against
the
men.
communal socialism. We can be together and work together. No, you can't. No, you can't. Some people can't even stand their own family members. So how do you expect a whole nation to work together? Stop dreaming false dreams. Just focus on you and yours and what you can do for the people around you. Stop focusing on these other. It's too big a problem. You can understand the problem and navigate it the best way you can and navigate through life the best way you can. But for you to think that to have the hubris to think that you can fix millions of years of evolution that have got to this point is ridiculous. We need technological intervention to offset that.
Men and women,
And
that's-
we're a couple,
I understand what you're saying.
100,000 years off that.
The idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious. He came back with honor. He got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different. And we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand,
It's
if I
true.
walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here. And I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest
Facts.
chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they
Facts.
look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard out there.
Balance.
It's
I
hard.
love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people always going for the 1%? All the women want
Yeah, I know.
1%.
1%,
Why
the
can't you just
1%
find
of
a
the
regular
problems.
9 to
Who
5
cares,
person?
bro?
Go after you, you can be queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody rushing? I've got a man, we don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pearl, I want no night about social media. 9 to 5, I've got our own property, 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not
Oh.
old-fashioned, it works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify.
Facts,
When
it
I mean
works.
1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are
Yeah,
in charge of
the
things that
1%.
run
It
the
doesn't
world.
matter
What I'm
because
trying to
that's
say
how it
that
is.
It's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the
and men have
difference is,
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
Sir, Mr. Andrew, the mad respect she had to place on that, yeah.
I want to know.
as he said,
I want to know what
thank
I want to know
you.
what she's after.
I'll have this one after
I
this
want to know what she's
point.
after. She's
Yeah.
going to go home and dry that now.
It's
Put it in
the
a
Wait,
Clementine.
it is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society has now evolved. Before men went to war, now men don't go to war. So there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side is that the same way that a society evolved and made men feel less purpose, they have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of, you know.
No, but she,
The rubbish. That ain't what I'm saying.
No.
You get a 9 to 5 person.
Rah.
What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9 to 5 person? Right? You can function underneath that. Because I'm always hearing the women say, oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money. Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9 to 5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not like Andrew
There's
Tate.
always direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
but she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown.
Yeah, it's loading. You can see Brittany. Her eyes are loading, bro. Eyes are loading. Check out the eye. She's like, bro, what?
Try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe he cheated. I am devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that.
Facts.
You
This is why I always say, there are problems both ways, okay? Especially for modern society, there are problems both ways. So if someone wants to settle down with an average dude, yeah, the problem there is he will be loyal, he will be, loving, doting, he will be there for you, supportive, whatnot, if he is a genuine dude. But you want to get the lifestyle you want, or the lifestyle you see other people have. But then again, if you end up with a dude who has it all, who is the top G, the top of the top, has the status, he has the cars, the lifestyle, he's gonna cheat. So now you have emotional instability in your life, because you're gonna feel like, am I really enough? Does he love me? Would he ever stay with me? Will he leave me for someone else? So that is another battle you have to fight. So you're either dissatisfied with the level and quality of life you have, or you're dissatisfied emotionally with your partner and the fact that they are living this, extravagant life, and there's nothing you can do about it because you hold no power, because you can be so easily replaced. It's a problem both ways, just to find out what problem is the one you can deal with the rest of your life.
How women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that. Men like me don't have to be. And you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting there pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're still texting me.
They're going to be the one that changes you.
Well, no, yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake that girls make.
That's ridiculous.
This is the female decision. They sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept he ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about.
Ain't that the facts,
The regular
bro?
on here.
The women that come on the
Oh,
show.
good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable?
Oh
So when a
my
man,
gosh.
because he's a top G, cheats on a woman,
How?
it's like,
What can you
well,
do?
What do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and
Accountable
say,
for what?
For what?
Accountable for
okay,
accountable for his
cheating-
natural
is
evolutionary
cheating-
biology.
is cheating
Yeah,
morally
it's ridiculous.
correct?
Yes.
It depends.
Yes.
He said it with his chest. Yes.
Are you
You're
joking?
okay with your
That's
woman
what-
cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's haram.
No, because
Oh, it's a wrap when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There has not been, in the history of humanity, across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female, ever. Ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting. So yes, we are completely and utterly different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his life and ticks every single box, and if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do that, and I can decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough to attract so many males, because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different. And I'm going to explain to you why it's completely different, so buckle up. Different.
Seatbelt.
It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why.
Hey, Auntie's on it, brother. Auntie's on it. She knows.
Promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself, because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There's no way she is sleeping with endless men, and all of them are either high-value men or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy. She was just too drunk to realize he's a loser who plays video games. Or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just going to go out there fucking a new dude every week and say, yeah, he's worth pussy. Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da-da-da. And you know what's funny about the universe? It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. You have to be careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait.
Shit! Yo, Auntie is gassed. Your Auntie is gassed. Yo, Auntie, look at this smile, bro. Look at this smile. Yo, Niger's triggered. Niger's triggered. Up here, triggered. She triggered. She's feeling some type of way. Auntie over there living her best life. Triggered. Best life. Triggered. And it's a problem, man. Just accept the reality and it's an easier life. Accept the reality that if you want that top 1%, that top 0.0001% of dude, this is what it comes with. It's not easy. It's the same way like hoping to get a managerial job and thinking you won't have stress. It's ridiculous. That's what it comes with. That is the nature of the beast. You can never get a managerial job without the stress. It doesn't happen unless that's a fake job.
So 1 second. Sir, may I ask you a question? What would you say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
Haram.
Why?
Haram.
No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say
Habibti,
me,
please.
I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So
Yes.
let's say you had 4 pregnancies, you know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if...
No, I'm asking. Do
Okay,
you know?
I ask, what if they're different races? One
Answer
white,
the
one black.
question.
You don't
Oh,
know.
come
The
on.
question.
You don't know. Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the 2 people who made it are, at least. If you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just
It's
say...
disgusting.
Have you seen the twins that had 2 different dads?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. May I just say something then? So if that is the case, yeah, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you, at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are, then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's haram, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand, I'm talking about humans. You look at humans from a societal perspective, but society has changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago. If a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive. If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job, she couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say, I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, still today, virginity is so coveted, and throughout all of history it's been so coveted, because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin, I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin, prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity or at least a low body count or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men and saying, one of you has to take care of me and put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Where it's different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me
Facts.
ask you a question. So obviously
Oh,
back then
wow.
for survival, women needed a man. Otherwise, when they were pregnant, they could die and all of these
Yes,
things
yes,
perish.
yes.
in today's society, given evolution, given the fact that as women we can go
Still
and
need
get.
men.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. Isn't there a glitch between what is actually happening and the nature of what we have in our bodies? I think that's probably the conflict that we're having right now.
Glitch in what way?
In the sense that women don't feel like they need men in the most physical sense, perhaps
that's
like
right.
naturally.
It's very interesting. Women
Facts.
don't feel like they need men in a physical sense because life is soft, but it's bullshit. And it's bullshit because you still need men by proxy, one, and two, the second life gets difficult, you very quickly learn how much you need men. But women will go,
Facts.
I'm independent, I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans, and if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Of course you do. You just named your whole life is based on fucking men. The road you're driving on was paved by a man. The house you're living in was built by a man. The car you're driving was designed by a man. Your whole life depends on men. And the second anything bad were to happen to you, the second you were physically threatened,
Yo.
the times were to get hard, or war were to start, or famine, or riots, the first thing you do is find a big strong man, shit yourself, and throw the feminism out the window. Feminism goes out the fucking window the second that the snow needs shoveling, or there's a fucking broken down car, or the tire needs changing. Then all that crap vanishes. It's garbage. And this is the very interesting thing.
Bruh, yo, Brittany's so quiet. I'm surprised.
But this is the point. Feminism in and of itself can't be defended. Any idea, the point of an idea is that it can be defended by the people who believe in it. This is what the whole point of war since
Facts.
the dawn of time. It doesn't matter if it was the Christians against
And that's the thing. Oh, let me just let him
the
run.
Hindus. Doesn't matter if it was the Germans against the French. There were people who had ideas and ideologies, and they were prepared to fight each other to defend their ideology.
And that's the thing. And as you've seen with the world and the way the world has changed over time, same with the Romans had an ideology, and they ransacked the world to spread it. Same with the Persian Empire, Genghis. Like, we have so many people, and the only way to spread their ideology was to overpower others and literally exterminate other people's ideas. In the way of Genghis, he actually obviously allowed people to stick with their faiths and their beliefs and whatnot. But in terms of the ruler, he was the one true, God king or whatnot. So yeah, it's honestly it's crazy. It's crazy to even have this discussion. Like, people don't even pay attention to history, bro. Do a little bit of research, do a little bit of history, look at the roots, a little bit of biology, man. You will educate yourself beyond words about the state of humans and their nature, and you live a much happier life knowing what to expect.
Feminism is an ideology that cannot be defended by feminists. The only people who can defend feminism are the men who subscribe to the garbage. If all the feminists were to get in a line and say, we want feminism, and the conservative men were to get in a line, you would learn very quickly it's bullshit. I had a friend in Afghanistan when Taliban kicked America out, and he told me the Americans were telling the girls they could go to school. So they built all these girls' schools, and they put the Afghanistani Defense Forces there, and they funded the Afghanistan Defense Forces to protect these schools. You had American satellites, you had night vision goggles. Taliban were afraid to attack. America leaves. Now you have Afghani Defense Forces. They're basically blind. They don't have satellites anymore. Don't have night vision, whatever. So now it's a real war. The men are standing next to this girls' school. The Taliban are coming. You're some dude. You're standing there, and you're looking at this girls' school going, I don't really give a fuck if girls go to school. Bounce. And you didn't fight. So that's why they all gave up and Taliban took over so quickly. And when I said this, the girl's like, yeah, they should have fought for us, feminism. Why don't the women fight?
Can I ask?
Oh, wait, the women can't defend their own fucking idea. You need men to defend feminism. So that's why the whole thing is stupid. Because the second men don't defend it, it just fails as a fucking ideology. It's garbage.
May I tell you something now? So this is the
Oh my gosh. What's the comeback?
This is when we assume that women perhaps don't have the physical or even mental ability.
We assume they don't. What does this assume? Assume.
This is the thing. For example, in Ukraine,
I said assume.
look up arms, and in fact, I'm Angolan. Wait, I'm Angolan. Wait, I'm Angolan. And
Don't lie.
Listen,
to people at home.
wait, don't worry. I'll talk about my personal story. No, wait, let me tell you something. This is the thing. I think it's also really silly to assume that, for example, a woman, because she didn't go to school, she'll not be as intelligent as a man. Therefore, naturally, a woman is not intelligent. No.
I understand what you're saying. Basically, if you were put through the same conditions, you might be more intelligent. But if you are deprived the common tools and necessities to understand the world around you, using things like maths, language and writing, you're hindered. There's no way you can. There is no way you can become more intelligent because you can't translate your ideas into things that can actually become useful. I don't understand. What are you
It
talking
doesn't
about?
make sense. If we're now starting to normalize equality and we want to put everybody in the forefront, give a woman a
Who's
gun.
normalising equality?
Well, that's what people are wanting. Then that's
People
the case.
like who?
Let me tell you,
Who
Auntie.
wants to normalise
let-
equality? People like who? Feminists. Who else
No.
wants
Aunties on smoke, bro. Aunties on smoke. And hey, don't come for me. Hey, I was raised in traditional Christian African household. So for me, it's traditional African all the way. If you want to know what traditional African is, Google that. Google that. Okay? Google that.
I want, well, actually, no equality. I want respect. That's really
Yeah,
what I
What's
want.
stopping you from getting respect?
Exactly.
No.
I get respect.
I
What's stopping
get
you from getting
respect. I get respect.
but
That's
you
what I
just
want.
said
That's
you
what I
want
like.
respect.
What I think is,
You don't even know what you
I'll
want.
tell you what I want. As a woman, I
Auntie.
carry myself differently. I actually hold the things that I have done in the fights that I fought. I hold it. That's why when you
What
speak
fights
to me,
you
I don't
fought?
move different. I move different
What?
to many of the girls.
Fights?
That's why when you talk to me and you
What?
argue with me, I don't
don't
take
argue
it.
you.
You do
I tell
sometimes.
you.
And
I
I'll
don't
tell you
argue.
something. A lot of women may have the accolades to be somebody.
She said, I don't argue, I tell you. Auntie is a... Auntie's moving mad. Auntie's, yo, smoke. She's on smoke.
But they are uncomfortable to own that. And the reason why, then I would like to ask you, for example, I do need a man, for example, to, procreate. But other than that, I'm quite strong. And I would find a way to protect myself
You're not...
differently.
Oh
And
my
with that
gosh.
mentality, what would be the man that would be for me then?
Denalva, what would you do if one of these security guards broke into your door?
What would I do? Okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah, let's hear this. Because this is about to be the biggest load of cap I've heard in my life. And Brittany knows it too. She's looking at them like, bruh, you can't say nothing here.
She's a feminist.
I'll tell you. No, I'm not a feminist.
Brittany's looking at her like, bro, what are you about to say?
I'm not a feminist. I'm a bit smarter.
What are you going
I'd
to do?
play
These
dead.
two guys.
One.
I'd play dead.
Yeah.
Okay, they see you're not dead.
It's okay.
They
No,
see
I'd
you
be like
breathing.
this, and then if not, maybe I would kind of like be very gentle and comply to find a way to get out of
Okay.
it.
I'll comply.
Make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing. We can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with
Equity.
completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man, or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where it all gets fucked up. We try and pretend it's all the
Yes.
same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths,
Facts.
different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight and work. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go
You're
fucking die in a
rude.
ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai, chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at
No
other
way.
things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical world. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. That's
Yeah.
what happens. If all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's
That's straight facts.
You have to
Yes.
understand as a woman and say, okay,
But
I'm
no
Straight
a man
facts.
who's good at being a man.
But no
But-
one's saying that we don't need men in society. Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
Oh, here we go. You triggered my trap card.
I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
But listen, right?
I
listen-
don't, yeah.
But is the mechanic a man or a woman?
No, I'm saying yes, we need men in society, but in relationships, the only reason I actually need you is because I want you. I don't actually need you.
Do you know what?
I,
To have
I, want-
babies.
I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, I don't need you in my day-to-day life.
What if someone, but wait, what if someone breaks into your house?
I'll just call the police.
Okay, what if they don't come? What if the average
Play
in
dead.
the US it takes like 15
And give 'em everything.
In the US it takes like 15
That
minutes
is-
for them to
but
get
that's
there.
not realistic.
What-
That
okay,
doesn't
okay, no,
happen on
okay,
a
okay,
day-to-day life.
These
Wow.
two guys in your house, what are you doing?
But that's not realistic. I've not had any man break into my house on a day
Yet.
to day.
She said
The
yet.
point is-
So let's be
I know what
realistic
you're-
now.
I know what you're saying, but the point is this. The point is, when we're talking about feminism as a whole demonizes men. And you just sat and said, besides procreation, I don't need a man in my life. I can go to a male mechanic or call a male police officer. They're men. So it's
society, you are needed. I agree.
Okay,
of course, we need you.
Of course. So you're talking about being with a man because you want to. So my question to you is, why would you want to be with a man?
Why would a man want to be with you?
Because they're sexy.
Like, obviously,
because of the
Let her answer, man.
I love men.
Let
I
her
love dick.
answer,
But
man.
it's not all about
Let Nigel
what I'm trying to
answer.
say is that in a good relationship, right, one that works, there's blue jobs and there's pink jobs. Right, and that's the problem that women have got.
Oh, gee,
they don't want to be doing no pink jobs.
But that's not
Do you know
what we're
what I
talking
mean?
about.
That's what we're talking about.
We're talking about relationships. Why do you need a man in a relationship? Because you want a partner.
What about
Companionship, friendship, romantic love.
Auntie's basically saying that you need him in the house to handle the blue jobs, because you're not going to be able to handle the blue jobs and handle the pink jobs. That's an overwhelming amount of stress. And again, let's just let them play this up, man. It makes no sense.
Go on dates with him. It's not about I need someone to fix my car. Like, go to a mechanic. You're not safe. Call the police.
Not
like,
true.
it's not that deep.
What about a father to your kids? You don't think your kids
Exactly.
need a
You
dad?
can be
I
around.
definitely want that. These are the stuff. This is the
But
reason
no,
I
you
need a man.
that. That's not-
And
that's
I
not-
agree.
Wait. It's not that you want it. You need it.
I agree. And these are the stuff that I need in a man. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not like I completely need you. It's
But
like, I want you.
But the whole point is, if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need a man.
in
there's no-
society,
in
agree.
Why do we
In
act like women
relationships.
are
No.
It's not that deep.
One for you and you alone to protect
If the
you.
lights went out tomorrow, you would need someone to protect you. You
Yes,
would.
of course.
Can
in
I-
society, not my boyfriend.
I'll go
Can I ask a
underground.
Like, half of my exes can't even do anything.
So, oh wow.
That's actually another problem. A lot of men can't do much.
Do you know what I mean?
Not
Exposure.
everybody
Day
is
and
strong.
age, in this day and age, guys can't even
Listen,
fit a tire.
You
It's
cannot.
actually
You cannot.
ridiculous.
No.
Women can't
Hang
cook.
on a
Not
minute.
you, my sister.
But I can cook. I can cook.
brothers.
And the thing is,
And you take
I'm not
speak to
even.
your brothers. They don't know how to do
listen,
I'm
nothing.
not
Can I
even
say something?
saying.
Guys.
Can I just say
We
something?
have to do one at a time.
Can I just say something? This is why you can't blame all men for your poor choices. You can't say, I'm talking to both of you because you're saying, yeah, my man can't do this, my man can't do that. What? And you want to settle down. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted them to do?
Because
my man could do all the blue jobs.
I need a man.
Because
that
most
is
men grow up with a
father.
PlayStation.
Oh my gosh, this is cap, cope, major cope.
And porn and things. No, that's the truth.
It's not. It's
Speak
not.
for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
That's the man you
Listen,
pick.
I
I'm
tell you what,
sorry,
right?
I don't need a mechanic
just
for my
saying.
boyfriend.
You know what?
I need a father to my children. I don't need.
Do you know something, right? She needs a
police
father. Hang on a minute.
officer.
She needs a father for her children, right? So
Yeah.
she's gonna go out there, right? And you're gonna buy your child an electric car. You're gonna go and buy your child a bicycle. Who the hell's gonna put out the bicycle and fix the electric car? Who's gonna do it?
You got YouTube. I know how to do these
Bro,
things.
I
I fixed the Bentley before.
Why
I
do you
fixed
need a
the
man?
Bentley.
And you can do everything yourself. Go and get some sperm donor or something because you obviously don't need a man.
That's the future, I
and
think,
the thing
you
is,
know.
that's the future for who?
No, of
That's
like
the problem.
society.
Because at the end of the day, right,
What
listen,
year are you
hang
living
on.
in?
The
What
year that
year
you're
are
supposed
you
to be
living in?
Because
Like,
hang on a
you
minute.
act like
Wait,
we are in the
guys,
Stone
guys,
Age.
guys,
Let me
guys,
finish
one at a
talking.
time,
Let me
one at a
finish
time.
talking, right? Now, you got a man, right? And you've been busy all day, right? And you're in your bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. And your man comes in with all of his friends and said, oh, babes, all the friends are here. They're hungry. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'll cook for my man. I'm a traditional woman in that aspect. I
Oh.
love to cook
Why
for my
is it
man.
that when people start cooking, they think that cooking is traditional? It's everything. It's not just about cooking.
But-
They always say, oh, I cook for my man, so I'm traditional.
I have a
No,
question.
no,
I have a
but the
question.
point is,
Wait.
I don't-
I have a question. Are you virgin? You're traditional. You're virgin.
Are you a virgin?
I said
traditional.
in that aspect. I'm not gonna comment on me being a virgin or not. But what I'm gonna say,
You know, it's not even. Why we lie to ourselves, you know?
She's a hybrid of tradition and
I'm a person
modernization.
that survives. You know, I need to cook to
Right.
survive.
Can I ask Mr. Tate something, right?
Bruh, I feel like we're on the verge of tears. I'm a person I need to survive. Why are we on the verge of tears here? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Alhamdulillah, what's going on?
Right, because I don't like bullshit, right? And there's certain people that I can't
Why
even
so
bear
excited,
talking to, right?
man?
So I'm going to talk
Russ.
sense. So far, he's talking sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
You're
giving
welcome.
pick me.
Right. Who said pick me? Listen, who just said pick
They
me?
want me. Don't look
No,
at
did
me.
you
Oh.
say
I said
Did
it's
you say
give
me?
him
Hang on.
pick me.
Give him
Because
pick
we
me.
were having a whole
Listen, right,
conversation.
listen,
And you're
right.
like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mr.
Hang on a
Tate.
minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I've been with my man for 32 years.
Clap for
right?
yourself.
32 years. I don't need to clap for myself because I'm happy. I'm not here. And what I was going to ask him, right, is how would you think a woman? Would you think
Why are you
that
shouting?
woman?
Can you-
Would you think that woman?
Whoa.
Just calm down. I'm loud. I'm naturally. You don't want to hear me shout. Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now, is this your idea of a woman that you think deserves a man? I'm here, single, but I'm looking. I'm here. I'm like taking, if you want to hook me up, let me know. And I just want anybody, but choose. How does that make you feel? What is that kind of woman that you think deserves a man?
Well, he's a top G. You can't be asking him this question
you
about
don't
us
want top
mere
Gs,
mortals.
innit?
We're mere mortals,
Speak
auntie.
for yourself. I'm no mere mortal.
We're mere mortals.
When he's present.
Because nobody
Come on
above
now.
me.
Which
I am
kind
not
of
a
question
mere
be
mortal.
that, though?
Auntie, unlike
I am
you,
not a
we
mere
have
mortal.
options.
I'm a mere mortal.
Unlike
Let's
you,
do this man, oh.
we have options,
Even
auntie.
this-
Yo, they are marking it.
If you
man.
have options, then where's your ring?
That is the most
Where's
stupid
your ring?
thing.
Because I actually can choose. I've not found a man that I want to be with.
Hang on a minute.
Well, I know your reality.
If
I know your
it shouldn't be
reality.
taking this long.
Beg a man.
It shouldn't be taking this long if you are what you say you are. It honestly shouldn't be taking this long. The fact that it's taking this long is red flags right there.
Hang on a minute. You said, unlike you, I have options.
We have options, yeah.
You're out here looking for a man. You're out here saying that you're looking
Where
for a
did
man.
I say I was looking for a man?
Oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions. That's what you said.
I said I was doing
That is what you
interviews.
said.
Gotcha. Yeah, auntie's on it, bro. Auntie's on it. Auntie, you can't play auntie, man. Memory like an elephant, bro. Remembering all these
I didn't
things.
say I was going out looking for a man. I said I'm doing
You're
interviews.
doing interviews,
Come
yeah.
see, I'd like to decide if I want you.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the
I'm not insulting you.
Hang on, listen. All right,
I'm
then
not
what do you call it?
insulting you.
Sign language.
Niger.
What I'm learning. Sign language. Right? Listen to what she just said to me. Unlike you, I have options. Fucking 32 years. You think I want options? I'm happy with my
It's
man.
giving you don't really
I'm
have
happy
much
with my-
options though, because the
She's won the game. Auntie has won the game. You haven't even started playing. She's won the game 32 years strong. You haven't even started playing. You can't be doing. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Auntie's won, and then you're saying, oh, options. Auntie's finished. She checked out. You're still in the game, on the playing field. There is a chance that you won't make it, but she's already won. I don't understand this. Delusional, bro. Delusional.
It's not pick me. Auntie,
Delusional.
auntie,
I'm on the streets and I'm happy. I've got options on the streets and I'm. Bro, get out of here.
Wait, she meant
chosen so bad.
Esther, I'm sure you didn't mean pick me, you meant clout chaser. Is that what it is?
It doesn't matter.
We could go with that too.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to clarify your problem. I was just saying.
Because you lot have totally lost it. Why would I want to have options when I've been in a happy relationship for 32
Yo.
years?
Clout chasers is fans.
It don't make no sense.
You can monetize on YouTube with clout.
Why are you calling her a pick me when you were the one advertising at the beginning of the show?
I said I'm doing interviews. I wasn't advertising nothing.
Okay,
It's
what-
banter.
Wait.
Do you guys understand what an interview means?
Okay.
What you-
All right.
what you
She's being
So-
spicy, guys. Stop it.
Auntie had a question for Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
What was your question?
Oh, she asked already.
He didn't answer because everybody's too busy
Don't
jumping.
ask your question.
Everybody's too busy jumping in. I already asked, but you're not too busy jumping in and being women.
He's-
Shut up and let him answer, innit?
Sorry, yeah,
Auntie's mocking it.
to go back to one of my earlier points, firstly, to make it clear in the disagreement, I agree with, of course, I think everyone knows who I agree with. But I do, because you know what it is, though? You know what's actually funny?
Wisdom with
The
age.
things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. All of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe that if we completely fuck it all up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix it.
destroyed. It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's been
Oh,
decisions
shut
from
up, bro.
powerful Men.
Shut
For
up.
Men to go to wars and for women to lose husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
all
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making is now we're entering a world of new think. And that the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female. People always say, you know, the number of emails I get from girls who say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you do that?
I'll tell you.
Oh,
One of the
fucking hell,
ways a
bro.
man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date a girl and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then I'd say, oh, I've met this girl, yeah, she's this, she's this. Oh yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date. So you went. The attraction goes from this to zero, done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices, but men like me who genuinely have unlimited options, we want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for, because that gives status. That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female with all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend or when you're looking for a boyfriend, et cetera, and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure, da-da-da. It's not about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays home. She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me. That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G. Boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize that I'm a ninja. I detect these things. Even when
I'm a ninja.
I detect it. So
That's
I'm
why you wear
going to give
shades.
her some of my Clementine, and she's going to feel better. So I'm going to get a Clementine. Would you like some Clementine, my dear?
I'm sure.
You want some Clementine?
I think for me, it's like.
I asked you a question. Would you
Yeah,
like some
I would
Clementine?
love some,
You
yeah.
want some Clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming. All right. Go on. Continue.
Okay. What?
No, I mean, I just feel like this is definitely a different conversation for me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective, and I do feel like this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience, other women that I've met as well, it's like the reason for even like relationships why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat but not for you, my thing is like why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you. That's like to me where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's
All
like
right.
why can't we have
So-
transparency?
okay.
And if I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it? No man in a million years. Let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is gonna meet a girl he likes and go, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come on, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong. That is how.
Time, resources,
Wrong.
and something else.
Time, resources. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man, yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I fly private, I go to Dubai anytime I want. I have a Chanel bag. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle as a whole. This is not just me. This is the world and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife. She's pushing a Bentley. She has the kids. She's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
but
you-
she's just like, whatever, don't care. I'm the one who has the money. Don't give a shit. So you have to sit there, and to a point, you have to sit and analyze the difference. When you're saying disrespect, if you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're going to end up doing is having a bunch of failed relationships and fucking loads of dudes.
Okay.
There has to get a point where you go, you know what, this guy ticks so many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just going to pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid, I'm looked after, I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem, he's going to fix it. He's ticked so many. That's the smart female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me. He fucked that bitch once, so I'm going to leave, and I'm going to get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch. It's the end of the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I
They just
ask-
have to bite the bullet.
I have examples though.
Aya!
Question. Is there ever
He broke it
anything
down.
that's too far? Like, so if a guy cheats on a girl, is there ever a point where she?
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of cheating. There's completely a lot of cheating.
So
that's too
like,
far.
if he knocks up another girl, would you say that's too
All right,
far?
all right. So first things first, I'm a man of my word. I don't even think I'm a liar. So here's your Clementine.
Thank you.
And he peeled it. What a
Thank
gentleman.
you.
I'm a gentleman. Right. So obviously, I'm not saying blatantly disrespect your woman. Right? She's your woman. She's your queen. She's the most important thing in the world to you. She needs to be treated in a way that she feels that. Right? But it's unfortunate because I keep tying back to this baseline point. But the reason I keep going back to this baseline point is to try and explain to everybody at home how simple the world can be if you go back to the baselines of it. Why do men cheat? Most women don't know. You'll see them all the time. Why do men cheat? Oh, because men are just stupid. And why do men fuck girls uglier than their main chick? Why do men do all this stuff?
They had
Do you
a
know
moment.
why? I'll tell you why. Let's go back to the first thing I've been saying this whole time. Status. Yeah, that's my chick. She's home. Took this one home. Yeah, I got that one. She's chasing me.
That's
Status.
dead.
Status. But it's stupid to females. I get it. But that's the male world because sexual access is an easy indicator of status. So that's one of the reasons they do it, right? So you have to go back into the baseline of why men even cheat in the first place. I'm telling you, if you're a woman, the smartest thing you can do is look after your man, make him not want to cheat, be perfect. But there's going to be a time across a 20-year marriage you might just need to be a little bit blind. Tiny bit.
He said squint. I can't really make out what happened there, but it seems okay to me.
Cool. You'll be cool.
so-
Just make sure the bills are paid. What
What if you can pay your
Legend.
own bills, though?
Legend.
But this is it. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm not saying allow this for some fucking Joe Schmo. I'm not saying let some fucking loser pick you up, lock you down, and go cheat
That's
on you. No,
right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he's a G and he's doing enough of his other jobs. As for you saying, what if you can pay your own bills? Then what's the reality you face? Just like I described earlier, I'm going to decide that the thing that I prioritize above everything, above his resource, above the amount he cares for me. You'll see men cheat on a woman and then cry his eyes out trying to get that woman back. He still loves you. It's not the same as if you cheated. He loves you with all his heart. He'd die for you. He'd take a bullet for you, and he'd still fuck that bitch. Doesn't matter. It's a different game for men, right? So you're sitting there going, well, I'm going to prioritize his sexual exclusivity over all of his other attributes. You're just going to end up having endless failed relationships, fucking too many dudes, and
Yeah.
then what's going to happen is your psychology is going to break because females don't like to accept the fact that if you sleep with enough men and you get rid of the stigma around a new dick, your instant answer is constantly new dick. He didn't text me today. Fuck it. Someone else. He was rude to me. Fuck it. I'll cheat. He was this. I'll get a new boyfriend. And then you end up just jumping on cock all day and you're fucking done. You need to, the reality is you have to come to a point where you get a guy and he ticks boxes.
He said you have to realize the reality of the world, otherwise the carousel will never end. It's a vicious cycle of just peen here, peen there, schlong here, schlong there. It's never gonna end. Raw. Mad.
You're like, you know what? I'm wifey. I got the Bentley. He does whatever he does.
That is the smartest move to make on that chessboard, and it's ridiculous that it's not even ridiculous. It's just almost comical that people would not make that move in that position. Like too emotional, I guess. Too emotional.
But my bills are paid. That's
So
it.
when would you say
Fair enough.
when would you say it's too far? I'm just curious if there's a line that you would like if he spends money on another girl, if he like when does it
Okay, that's a good question.
And other second question, do you think that men ever fall in love with side chicks?
Very good question. and this is a long and in-depth answer, but it's a good question. Let me peel my clementine. But no, but it's a good question. Where is too far? I think publicly disrespecting is too far. So like you'll notice. Let's take the Moscow G. All right, let's take an oligarch, a billionaire from Moscow. He has his wife. He has the girls he's in the club with. The girls he's in the club with wouldn't fucking dare message his wife. They wouldn't dare step out of line. Like, they know their place, right? So if there's a hierarchy and they know their place, that's one way of doing it. Spending money on a girl, certainly, yeah, because men show love primarily through our hard work. Not just through our resource, but through our hard work. If you take a man who's not particularly rich, he shows his wife love by getting up every day, going to work 9 to 5, working his ass off, and paying those bills. That's how he shows love. That's why he does it, for his wife and his children. Most men are out here working bullshit jobs, carrying trash. They're doing that to show love. So giving money, yeah, that would be a far more scary indicator than just sex. Let me give you all an example. I don't know if you all know my history, but I used to run a webcam business a long time ago. Don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But I had a bunch of girls who used to sit online and talk to guys, and they had laptops, right? This is a long time ago. And I used to sit and say to some of the webcam girls, I'd say, this man who is sitting in and logging in every night and sending you money every day and telling you he's obsessed with you from the other side of the world and missing out on time with his family to sit here and talk to you and send you money, that is more cheating than if he just went out and banged something. If he went out and banged something and came home, then done. But he's sitting here giving you his time, his money, his affection. That's cheating for a man. For a man to sit there and give money and time away, right? Yeah. So you have to stop this idea of sexual exclusivity. Yes, that's for females. That's how females show their love to men. It's not how high status, at least, males show their love to females. And anyone who wants to disagree with me, call me wrong, call me misogynist, whatever bullshit, look at a history book. Every king, every sultan, every conqueror, every emperor, every knight, all of them had maidens, wives, all of them. That's history.
What level of G do you have to be allowed to cheat?
Well, it's not about even being allowed to cheat. I'm not even saying that. And it also depends on the partner you're with. I'm not trying to sit here and advocate for men to run around and fuck a bunch of women. I'm not saying that.
That's what you're doing.
No, but I'm not.
No. Let him explain. Let him land. It's about to come. Now, our sister, let him land.
No, but I'm not.
Niger just talks to talk, man. Listen.
Describe the baseline unfortunate realities of human dynamics. And I'm trying to explain now to the world that any woman can get a man who will not cheat on her if she's prepared to sacrifice a bunch of other things, perhaps, right? In the olden days, it was different. The world was a different place. It was a completely different place, and it was better. Now it's all fucked up. It's fucked up on every level. And men, especially the high-status men, most of them have struggled so hard to become high status. They've been through so much shit to get where they are. It's like telling him, if you climb this mountain, you can go to a candy store. And he climbs to the top of the mountain, and the second he's in the candy store, after one piece of candy, that bitch is saying, no more candy. He's like, no, I just climbed this mountain. I just got rich. I just went through X, Y, Z. I finally got here. I'm finally in the candy store. Now you're telling me I can only have one piece of candy?
Okay.
What man's going to agree to that?
Do you think that men owe a woman loyalty if she was there from the beginning?
Absolutely. They absolutely owe that woman loyalty.
Oh, sorry, sexual loyalty. That's what I meant.
Sexual exclusivity is different. Sexual exclusivity and loyalty are completely disconnected for males. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the unfortunate reality. It's true. I'm telling you, you can get a man, he can go on a holiday, can fuck some stripper, can come home, and you can lie detector test him. Do you love your wife? Would you die for your wife? Would you take a bullet for your wife? He'll pass the lie detector test. He loves her with all his heart. He'd do anything for her. It's just pussy. It's not a big deal. It's different.
I feel like, I guess my question would be then is like, how do you view sex? Because I like, sex at the end of the day is spiritual unification. I feel like I've gone through a lot of different stuff. I've had a lot of different experiences where I did not value myself, so I never had a man that valued me. So it's like, yeah, you rack up guys and guys you shouldn't be texting back or whatever. But I feel like I understand that there is a difference with how men view sex and how they move around in the world. But it's like, sex is a sacred thing, no matter male or female is doing it. So that's why, for me, like my biggest
it's different, bro.
Is like
it's not it's a sacred. It's not sacred thing both ways. If you're a naturalist, take out religion, take out everything, and you just look at the world for what it is. It's not both ways. There's a reason why there's so much emotional stake on it for women than for men. There is a reason for that. We all know this. It's the paternity issue. We know this. That's why there's so much emotional stake on it. That's why it feels more spiritual, because there's a possibility of connection to this individual for life through offspring. That's the only thing that makes it sacred. Only thing.
This is such a sacred thing, and it's like taking a piss for a guy.
Can I just say something? You sure you weren't making love to somebody who was having sex?
In this society, it's like taking a piss because of the advent of, contraception and all this stuff. And at that point, it is what it is because they're giving it up. If they're going to give it up, the dudes are going to take. It is what it is. That's the game, man. That's the game.
I'm sorry?
You sure that you weren't making love to somebody?
They set the marketplace. The women set the marketplace. So if they move a certain way, the men are going to be forced to move that way unless they want to commit crimes. That's the only way. That's it. It's a byproduct.
Was just having sex.
Hey, auntie, that's
Have I-
in there.
No, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like as women, they make love to men that are just having sex.
Right.
That's the difference.
That's not the point.
But my thing is,
But
okay.
I think,
Not
but
all
I
the
think
time.
so. I think when men hear that, though, it's like if it was sacred to you, you would have waited till you were married.
But it's
And
like
think that's-
right. No, I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that. But the reality is that the world is not so black and white. So I understand that there are these things in place that worked and made sense, and now we're approaching an era that like we don't know what's going to happen. But there's gray area. You've had sex, I've had sex, she's had sex, we've had sex with different guys. That doesn't mean that we're damaged goods, we're used goods. I understand status is a big part of that. I understand that sex is viewed differently, but I feel like you should not. If you're looking at face value, I can understand why you would be judged from your past. But if I'm a guy interested in you, I don't care about what you've done.
But that's the thing. Like
But you're
men
not the
do,
guy.
though. That's the thing. Like a virgin's more valuable to a man than a girl that's had sex with multiple men. Like it just is what it is.
There's a limit.
But the modern man's solution is not a
even-
virgin. A modern man needs a partner, somebody that is actually smart and can survive in the world of
But
today.
I'm saying the men with
And
the
that's
most,
gonna
the
be a
men with
lived
the most,
woman.
the men with the most choice are gonna pick women that are more pure in general.
The ones that are already
Like-
self-made, I guess so. But that's the
And
thing. The
beautiful, too,
reality
don't,
is,
like-
the reality is that there's a lot of men out there, especially in the world that we live in today, that need a partner. So it's time for those masses of men to start respecting women for the role they can play in their
I
lives.
don't think average men expect women
Do you know
to
what
be
it is?
virgins.
Do you know what it is?
But is this rhetoric
Yeah.
actually then
What is she even
these
talking about,
mindsets
bro?
creates what
Mute
people
point.
complain about the misogynistic world.
No, do you know-
That's what it is. Even in schools, it's
Why
like
is it
permeated through it all and
why is it
perpetuated.
misogynistic for men to prefer women that are more
It's
pure?
not that it's, but it's not. That's not the problem. The problem is now. Listen, the math
She's
is very
dancing.
simple. You've got people like Andrew Tate talking about these things with such clarity, and it makes so much sense because it is true, right? And then you have men that are in these situations where just average, working an average job, and they cannot fulfill whatever definition is called to be a man in these.
Yes, they
definitions.
can, and that's
No,
what he
they-
said. He did
no.
say that. Yes, they can.
No,
A 9 to 5 man can do it.
But then again, but wait. This is the thing. What we're talking about as a man, and this is why I say it's very important for us to understand the person that we're speaking to. And I'm very glad that you clarified everything that you mean. Not every man is like Andrew Tate. Not every man is going to be able to even realistically demand for certain things from a woman. So the same way women need to compromise if it comes to a man who is going to cheat on her because he's a top G.
They
it's the
already
same way
do.
Men are going to have to compromise. And
They
stop
already
talking
do.
About purity.
They already do.
Do you know
Answer
something,
that.
right?
No, but
You
men-
just
men-
did.
men-
You didn't get none of what you didn't get none of what
I
he was
made my
saying.
point. That was the whole point.
But
Duh.
What point? Well, duh. What? Because you just quoted him. You just said about his thing, and you didn't.
not only did I
You
get
just
clout,
didn't
I made my point.
understand.
I
You
said the
did not
average man does
understand.
not have what it takes to demand.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
He already said that. He already said
And
that.
I
Do you know
reiterated
the
in my
problem
own
is?
words for my own
You didn't-
content for my page. And
Do you
so
know
what?
what it is, right?
Eh?
Is that too many women
Eh?
see regular guys and they feel they're settling. You're not settling. You're getting what you deserve.
But you can't be asking
You're not
for a
settling.
virgin, though.
Do you know,
You're not settling.
but the difference is men know this. Like most average men aren't
The
demanding.
average men that want- the average men
know,
never
but
said they
the
were
difference-
virgin.
But the
They
difference,
Kind
but the
of.
difference
But
is
that's
the
what
difference.
Tanalva's
Wait.
saying.
The difference is average men know they don't deserve a 10. They know they don't deserve an 8. They know they don't even deserve a 7.
And they still
And
go
look,
messaging them on the stories and all this dumb
they're
stuff that is
not,
just
though.
ugly.
Like most men in history haven't even reproduced. And so it's like men know, but the women are the ones that are delusional.
There's
That's why you
regular
have
men out
Lizzo
there. There's
shooting
regular
a
men
shot
out
at
there.
Chris Hemsworth.
There's
Chris
who?
Hemsworth.
There's regular men out there that
Yeah,
will
but
that will have
She's
you
a
down.
two. A two.
Yeah, but can I just say, people are
I
watching
think I could.
Tate,
I got a bad
not
pap.
understanding that Tate is part of that 1% of
How
success.
good do you
But
feel,
his
Sajid?
whole-
And they think that they can demand the same thing.
No, they
can
okay.
demand
They
women
don't.
to be-
One second.
They don't. They understand that if they get to that level, they could. So they start to build up the habits necessary to get to that level and move the way they want to move and be honest about the things they want to be honest about. And that's the key.
Sorry. I understand the point you're all making, but let's understand something. To the sexual marketplace, females have always been, and still to a degree are, the gatekeepers. It's men will, you can think about it in a very simplistic way. This is not the case, but let's simplify it for the sake of argument. Imagine men will run around and fuck anything, and women are the ones who say yes or no. You are the gatekeepers that have all the power. And this is what's actually truly interesting about the sexual marketplace, because whenever women go, there's not enough good men, then why are you fucking, of course, why would they be good if you don't make them be good? You're fucking losers.
That's a good point.
So women, so you're talking about, I'm saying that, a man at a certain level can't do certain things, da-da-da. If you were with Joe Schmo and he wasn't treating you the way you believe Joe Schmo should treat you, then why are you with him?
Leave. Sis, leave.
Like women have the gatekeeping. So if you get Joe Schmo and he treats you like you're his queen and treats you perfect, good. If you get a fucking guy at the absolute upper echelons of value and you still aren't happy with what he's giving you, then leave. Women are the gatekeepers. You women actually have all of the power. This is what's beautiful about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Women are constantly complaining. You have all the power. You're the ones who get to choose. You know who you should be mad at for all this shit? I'll tell you who you should be mad at. You know who threw away all the female power in the sexual marketplace? Promiscuous females. Because now you got chicks who will bang anybody without trying. So why should a dude get up and try?
No,
Do you have any idea how hard it is to
Facts.
actually be?
Oh, she don't like it. Oh, no. The truth ran true, and she had to rebuttal. I wonder what she is gonna say now, because it is true. It is true. When it is easy, what is the point in trying to get what's hard when it's available over there at discount?
Let me to make this clear.
Go on,
Do
sir.
you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, no bullshit, a man? And I say this and women go, oh yeah, I do that. As soon as most women encounter any kind of problem, the first thing they do is turn to a man. Their man, their dad, the mechanic, the police, a man. If you actually put a woman in front of a problem and go, no men, they're like, oh, whoa, fuck. It's a mental breakdown. Men, day after day, especially if you're a high-level man, let me make it something clear from my life. I'll talk from personal experience. I'm not just looking after me. I'm not just looking after my chick. I'm the guy in about 300 people's phone books that they call when anything big goes wrong. You get arrested in Russia, you need extraction from Ukraine, you need $1 million, whatever it is, Kazakhstan, abduction, they call me. I'm the first phone call. I'm fixing 400 different lives. I'm a problem solver. Chicks can't fix fucking any of this shit, right? This is how hard it is to be a man. And it's amazing because society expects it of you, but so do women. If you had a man, be honest, you had a man and you went to your man and said, oh, I've got this problem, I can't fix this, it's broken, the car tire's broken. And he went, I don't know. You would dry up. Like, you'd be like, well, fucking, what the fucking point are you? That's the truth. You could sit here and go, oh, we'd call a mechanic. No, you wouldn't. You'd look at your man and go, what do you mean you can't fix it?
I'll do it
And this is
myself,
what
waste man.
and this is what she's saying about your man will get up and go, and you know what's beautiful about masculinity? A bunch of times a man will go up and he doesn't have a clue how to fix it himself. But he'll go, don't worry, baby, okay. And he'll stand up with no money and no clue. And he'll go out there and fucking try and find a way, because as a man, you need to be useful. To be a man, you have no idea the amount of pressure that we're under from society and from the women we even want to associate with. On a whole, it's difficult.
Ain't that the
To
truth?
keep all these things in mind, it's hard.
But can I ask you a question?
No, you're
You
spitting.
just said about
He was spitting. That was mad wisdom. That was crazy. That was crazy. When there is no way, you find a way, because that is your utility. You have to find a way. If not, you're dead in the water, my friend. You're dead in the water. You have to provide value, because your value is produced and it's not inherent.
you're the top G that if they had money you can fly planes and fly that. Drop it down to if you were earning like say 50,000 a year.
Yep.
Couldn't you be that same person amongst your peers?
100% you
That's
could.
what I'm trying to say.
100% you could. And also you have to...
Money doesn't make you a top G.
No, money's an amplifier. So that's the first thing about money. Money amplifies. Men can make money. Money does not make men. If you're a dork and you get rich, you're a rich dork. If you're a G and you get rich, you're a top G. Right? So that's the first thing about money. And I agree with you. But traditionally, and this is the baseline. And once again, when I say these things, I'm not looking to be attacked for being misogynist. I'm just commenting on how I view the world and how I see things. Traditionally, a man primarily gives his attention to a female to get sex, and she gives him sex back to get the attention. That's the swap, right? So if I'm a dude and I want sex from a girl, I give her attention, I talk to her, I hang out with her, I spend time with her, eventually I get the sex. That's how it works. But the higher value you are as a man, the more valuable your attention is, the more valuable your time is, the less you have to give. It's like potency, right? So I can give 5 minutes to a chick, and that's worth 2 weeks of some other dude's time. But that's the reality. So where you are on the scale is just basically how much of your time you have to give. Now, you can still give all your time to a woman, treat her like a queen, be respected by your peers. She can be happy with you. I'm not saying she will be any. In fact, I'll argue she'll be happier with that man than she'll be with a fucking guy like me. I'm not even out here saying I'll make chicks happy. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that she'll get the amount of time that she's going to want from that man. The amount of attention is linked to his status. But at a true high-level status of man, it's 2 DMs. Boom, boom. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Done.
This kind of leads into my next question.
All right, guys, let's take a second to hear from
Aye.
our sponsor.
More sponsors
Florida
again?
Cops are
Come on
searching
now.
for 2 young women who
Do women prefer to be monogamous with a low-value man or share a high-value man?
Well, look at society, and you tell me.
Monogamous.
Ask me.
Wait, so let's ask the single ladies. What would you prefer?
I would prefer someone who's monogamous. I left a situation where I got the Bentley, I had all that, I had the kids, I had that. That was great. I want a companion. I want real love. And to me, what monogamy means to me is someone who's committed to themselves. That's like, the answer is within you. And to be honest, I feel like, again, the sex has been lost in translation and what it means. I don't care man or female. It's been lost. As it's so sacred. So for me, I have kind of taken those blinders off where I'm like, okay, he has to be here. I'm okay with dating the trainer in Austin, Texas. That's just where I'm at. Like, I don't need a certain thing because I know what I'm wanting. Most guys in that percentage are not going to give me. So I would rather have a monogamous man than someone who can do whatever.
So you think the personal trainer is going to be monogamous? They're like known for cheating, no?
Well, I mean, here's my thing. Like, I get it. Like, I don't generalize people because I'm one of the most misunderstood people online as well. And I feel like there's a lot more to me, and I don't like to just put everyone in a box. I'd like to get to know people. So no, I'm not gonna just say, oh, well, of course he's gonna cheat on me. Like, no.
Okay. Would you take a guy who makes
it.
$35,000 a year and had a dad bod?
Had a dad bod?
Yeah, dad bod.
I feel like for me, I would want someone who.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
I pour into myself, and I'm accountable for my shit. I'm aware of what I got going on. I'm not gonna have a mom bod. I'm in the gym. I had a baby a year and a half ago. I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. So I would want someone who can match at least the work ethic. Now, when it comes to money, I know for me, I want to be able to. I do not want to rely on a man. I have literally done that before. It didn't pan out in my favor. Okay, because what happens is you get the rug ripped from under you, and then now you fucking get out, bitch. Give me the motherfucking keys. It isn't that. So for me, the lifestyle I want, I am responsible for. So I don't look for a man to make X amount of dollars because anything that I want, I'm gonna get myself.
Well, because in my head, I feel like a guy's just as likely to cheat if he's in the top 20% of like looks. Just as likely as money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't.
Let me ask a quick question just so I can clarify something because I understand your points. You're saying you want a partner, a life partner. Are you sure? And I'm not accusing. I'm genuinely asking. Are you sure you're not confusing the amount of time the man spends with you with his monogamy? Because they're different things. Because what happens a lot of the time if a man's out here chasing chicks, he's barely home. But imagine you had a man who was home 7 nights a week. He was always home. I'm talking about like an hour, like during his work lunch. You don't even notice. Then would you even give a shit about monogamy if you had all of his time effectively? Would you really care?
I still would care because I feel like it's still just an hour a day and it's not really quality time. I feel I really have been in so many different situations. Again, the trainer in Austin to the NBA player baby daddy. Like I have seen all of that stuff. And it's just my personal experience and perspective to where I want someone that sees the value in the Grand Canyon. I want somebody who...
I understand. Okay, like, so that's a good point. And so I'll just ask the first question. I'm going to ask the second question. The realization you've come to is an interesting one. It is something that happens, especially to females as they mature. Don't you think it's strange, or why do you think that 0 women on Earth choose those kind of men who they perhaps have slightly lower status but are more likely to be loyal to them and be monogamous, etc. In the modern world, because like I said, the world's changed, why do you think 0 women choose them when they're at the peak of their choices? So when a woman is 19 and she can go anywhere she wants, every man wants her. She can go on any yacht in Miami. She can get flown out to Dubai when she has all the choices in the world. Why is she completely uninterested in those kind of men? And then when she gets to a certain age of maturity and there's a whole new generation of girls who have all the choices, then they sit there and go, you know what? I deserve monogamy and da-da, and they all of a sudden want to grow up and mature. Why does no woman decide that when she actually is at her most valuable?
I feel like like I said, I don't like to speak for all women. I just speak for myself. But I know for me that I was looking for a man for a lifestyle, something that I was not able to do individually by myself. So that's why it's like, well, yeah, I want to be able to do this, do that. I want to go for the football player that was just on GQ. And in reality now I realize, well, okay, there's a lot that comes with that. I can make my own money. I don't necessarily need that type of guy for the happiness that I'm looking for. Again, seeing value in the Grand Canyon is a lot different than like, okay, here's money for this, here's allowance for that.
And
here's an hour of my time.
As you asking why a man that is 20, 21, 23 is not a top G like a 30, 40-year-old man.
No, the point,
your age actually dictates your sort of maturity to a large extent.
Well, I'm arguing the point. The point I'm trying to make is that what I actually think happens, especially in the modern world, because the modern world's all fucked up and nothing's the way it's supposed to be, the traditional life path of a female is she's 17, she's 18, she's 19, and her value is massively inflated. And I don't blame her. Of course it's massively inflated. Imagine being 19 years old, have achieved exactly fucking zero in your life, knowing nothing. You put makeup on, and sports stars, billionaires, actors, the most important famous people on the planet, the richest men on the planet are begging for your attention. The ego you're going to develop, let's all be honest, right? The ego you're going to develop is going to be monumental. I'm special, I'm so gorgeous, all this bullshit, right? And then what happens as they grow older, as new generations come along, because the truth is most women are at their peak attraction, let's say in their early 20s. As they grow older, what women become is far more fearful of competition. This is why you'll see a woman who's a bit older go, oh, I really want monogamy. What she's scared of is her dude getting a 21-year-old. That's what she's fucking scared of. She may not know it, she may not say it, but basically that's what the truth is.
And ain't that the truth? Because competition is deep. And again, if we have to call a spade, it's laziness at the end of the day. It is laziness at the end of the day. And it is what it is. They do not want to compete. They don't. They actually don't. It's just pure laziness.
It's because she knows a 21-year-old is going to be more desirable, higher status, more fertile. That's what she's scared of.
Cheating is bad when you're 30 or 20, sir.
So no, but it's not about that. I'm telling you the shift in the female mentality, because when a female is 20, she doesn't give a fuck about any of this. She doesn't want to find the nice man. Now she's trying to, like you're saying, chasing a lifestyle, chasing Mr. Promiscuous, chasing Mr. Famous. Doesn't give a shit until she starts getting scared. Oh, shit. Oh, my age begins with 3 now. And then they change, their mentality changes. It's a fear element. That's the reality. And it's a biological fear element. I'll give you an example of it. You know what's amazing about humans? We are still very primal. When men like these two and me, when we walk through the mall, people just move. It's like you can sense when the big animals turn up, right? It's something amazing about humans. If you have a very attractive 45-year-old woman, she's gorgeous, but a gorgeous 19-year-old walks in, look at that 45-year-old woman's face. She's furious. She fucking hates her. She just doesn't like her for no reason. Yeah. Because women understand, unfortunately, but your age is a massive indicator in your value. In an inverse way to men, men are more valuable as we get older. Every woman knows that. Every woman will sit here and go, yeah, I want a man who's older than me. Of course. But if I say it the other way around, I'm misogynistic. It's just the reality of the world. So then we have to go into the other point. The point is this. When you were at your peak value, you had zero interest in monogamy. But then you find a man who's 35 at his peak value. He's finally struggled and worked, because when he was 19, no girl spoke to him. When he was 23, he was broke. When he was 24, he had no life experience. When
Ain't that the facts?
When he was 20, whatever. He finally gets to the point where he's now at his peak value. Him at 35 is you when you were 19. And then you're sitting there saying to him, no, you should be monogamous. It's like, well, you fucking weren't. You did whatever you wanted in your peak. Now I'm finally got there. And I had to work for my shit. God gave you. God and L'Oreal gave you. I had to fucking struggle. I had to go through hell to get on this yacht. You got on the yacht with an Instagram DM. I had to buy it. And now you're telling me I need to fucking settle down and behave and grow up? Fuck you.
Because
it's bullshit.
You're assuming that the journey is a man that starts with nothing to something, because there's a lot of men
that
that
is
have
exactly the journey of every man on earth. We are born without value.
Do you think
so there's specificity in that.
Can I just
because
ask
that's not how it should be for everybody, and that's not how it is for everybody, and not for every woman either as well, may I just say.
Can I ask Brittany something, please? Like, then you've learnt in the past, and now you want to find someone to settle down. With hindsight now, would you have reversed it and like started young, looking for someone to settle down with, looking for those values that now you know? I'm talking that with hindsight.
Okay, well, I actually, from 18 to 22, I was in a relationship. I've always actually been a lover girl, despite what I put out online for,
I've never
views.
seen you online.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's even better. I have always wanted one person, and I feel like I was so delusional in thinking that, oh, I'm like you said, like I have value, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm at my peak. Like, why wouldn't you want to be with me? So, going into these relationships, or just like just people. My goal was always to get commitment. Like, I'm giving you my time, I'm pouring into you because I want commitment. And the reality is, I'd never really understood my value.
That's
so
the
I was
wrong
going
answer.
to guys, giving up sex, doing this, and it didn't make sense. So I believe in, like, I stand on everything I do. Like, I don't do apology tours. It is what it is. And I think that's where I feel like when they talk about women being delusional and all these other things, it is true. Because what you have to understand is that there are repercussions to your decisions, which is fine. So then you're talking about, okay, well, I want this type of guy, I want this, that, and that. You're talking about maybe monogamy. That's 3 to 5% of animals are monogamous. I think that's what it is, right? So your window is really small for what you're looking for. And even to go on to the point you're talking about, it's like a subconscious fear. I think it's like, for me, I feel like if it was more of a fear, I would have just stayed in my situation. Like, it wouldn't have made sense. Like, I mean, that was my first kid. I thought I waited and did it right. I left because I believe that there's something else on my heart when it comes to love, and I'm just going to have to trust that. And if that means being alone, having a dog, I have to take that chance, because the Bentley, the ring, the house, and still getting, again, deceived, right? Disrespected, because deceit is disrespect, right? So I cannot settle for that. I can't suck a dick and shut up. And that is where a lot of people don't like my views and what I represent, because it is something new. I don't know how it's going to fucking end. I don't know what's going to happen.
What would you tell your 17, if you had to, like, what would you tell your 17-year-old self, knowing what you know now? Looking back, and you had to meet yourself at 17, what would you tell what would you tell yourself? Like, lock it down and wait for the right man, don't have sex. What would you tell your 17-year-old self?
That the answers aren't outside of you, because I feel like I'd always look for men to answer all of my questions that I've ever had. I thought when I had a man, it would complete me, and I feel like too, especially with like my dad not being in my life, you look for somebody to guide me. Like, so that's where for me, I put too much value in someone else having the answers for me. So that's why I'm really big on accountability. So I would just tell myself, like, to be patient, to take your time, because I was always quick. Oh, let's try to get in a relationship. Like, we weren't even compatible. There's a lot of just not compatible factors. So I feel like for me, it would be to slow down and to really get to know people, instead of just blindly banking on potential that most likely will never be tapped into, or selling myself short because there's a fear of, well, I don't know, this could be the best that I could get. I might as well just shut up and suck a dick.
And that's what I meant about women nowadays, because exactly what you'd be telling your 17-year-old self is what happened back in the day. So when I'm repeating these things, I'm going, oh, you're old-fashioned. But it seems like women do what they like, and then they hit a certain age and say, oh, well, I've got to settle. But it's not settling. You're just getting whatever you can.
You know,
or whatever you deserve.
You know what?
Because if you think back
auntie.
Auntie's
a savage.
Rather than say that auntie's old-fashioned or auntie don't know what she's talking about, look what she be telling her 17-year-old self, which ain't nothing that I already said.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
really and truly, let me finish. Because what I've always said, and you can check, I'm an older version of you. So where you've been, I've already been on up come back. So that's why I asked you, what would you tell your 17-year-old self? Because me telling you is, I'm telling my 30-year-old self. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So it's not that I'm old-fashioned. It's just that women hit a certain age and then realize, oh, my God, it wasn't that old-fashioned. You know, it works because it does. But there's no point in waiting until you're a certain age to start thinking about it. You know, even if you're like, you hold your own accountability. So It's like if you meet somebody and they were like 17, 18, and you saw them acting a
Bro,
certain way, they ask you
Nigel's
advice,
sweating, man.
You wouldn't say do as I do. You say, listen, man, this is what happened to me, and this is what I thought, and
Stressing.
what I recommend you do is blah blah blah. Am I right or am I wrong? If
No,
they ask you for your advice.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, I totally agree with that. I think that no matter what you decide to do, you have to accept whatever repercussions come behind that. So any advice that I give to anybody is do what you want, but just know there are repercussions, good, bad, or indifferent, that are
Any advice I'd give to young people trying to, especially young men trying to come up in the world, is read some of Marcus Aurelius' work, Socrates, some of his quotes, Aristotle. Like, those are the people you're trying to read and understand. It gives you a greater understanding into the complexities and the philosophies of life and how to best live your life. You know what I mean? Like, it gives you good insights into what you need to do to live a fruitful life and the hardships as well that come with life. And practice a bit of stoicism in your life. You know, maximize those positive feelings and minimize the negative feelings, because, again, the things you can control, you will never be able to control. So there's no need to worry. There's no need to worry about them. Let that flow over you. Be the rock. Let it flow over you like the water, and stay grounded.
going to come behind it. So, I mean, and I think that's just where I'm at. I don't even think it's like an age thing. I think it's like, in reality, I have a son, and you really start asking yourself questions. And again, I hate that it took having a child to really look into my life and call myself out on my bullshit.
So if you got pregnant earlier, if you got pregnant at 18, 19, would it?
I was always on birth control.
Okay.
I was on birth control for a decade. I got off birth control because the person I was with wanted to have a baby.
Okay.
So again, I thought I did it right. Clearly not, because I wasn't married. But it still didn't work out because it just wasn't my guy. So that's where I just think, like, even if I still would have taken it slow, there just were a lot of people that just were genuinely not my person, and that's okay.
I would just
Speaking
go
of
on.
marriage, I wanted to know, do you think we're in a post-marriage society? Because on one hand, we hear that women should wait till they're married to have sex, but at the same time, we also hear from the men that they don't want to get married anymore. So what do we do with that?
Seems like it's true, because nowadays a lot of people are looking at marriage as a contract rather than a partnership. And there's a huge difference between that, because with a contract, there are so many terms and many headaches and this and that. And
Well, it is a contract.
Well,
Yeah.
there you
Women
go,
are
that's
paid to
why.
leave, yeah.
But that's because that is what it is now, because realistically, the traditional sense of marriage is not a contract, really, in terms of the law. Once the law is involved, that's when everything went tits up, I think.
Yeah, so the problem is that there's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man. There is zero statistical advantage. If you use your mind, if you use your head instead of your heart, and you look at the advantages to getting married, there are absolutely and utterly none. Because this new idea of new age feminism just basically destroys all men in the idea, or in the event of her leaving. And it's very common that women leave, right? Let's stop the man versus woman attack, et cetera, et cetera. Life's difficult for everybody. We all have different challenges, different things to go through. But if a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak, fine. But if a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him, and he has to give that chick money forever.
In some places, you don't even have to be married.
Exactly.
That's why the men don't want to live with the women either.
That's right. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment. And then you have to add in the other hidden element, and the other hidden element is what I said earlier, is whose fault a lot of this is promiscuous women, right? So when society's broken down, if women were saying, if all women got together and said, we'll only have sex after marriage, guess what men would do? Get married. But you don't, right? So now you're in Miami. I go to Miami. I can fuck anything in the club. I don't have to marry any of them. If I marry them, I get wrecked. So, like, let's all use our brains here. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to be like, well, no. Bounce. See ya. No. So men have been scared away from the idea of marriage, and that's a lot of that is the fault of this new bullshit law and this new feminism and this new crap. They don't give men any tactical advantage. And I'm talking about small things. A man's not even allowed to be a man in his own house. You know, in England, you will get accused of emotional abuse. I can marry a woman, not lay a hand on her. I can just raise my voice at her. That's emotional abuse. I can raise my voice at her because she's going out drinking with dudes. She can go out drinking 6 nights a week with men. And I can say, what the fuck, you're my wife, sit down. She can call the cops, call me emotionally abusive. I get arrested now. Now there's a court case against me. I have to go to court and defend myself. She'll divorce me, take my house. I have to sell my car because she's drinking vodka with fucking God knows who.
But you notice that
What? It's
earlier on.
insanity.
What do you think of? What do you think? Of
It's a scam. It is a scam. Do not prescribe. Do not subscribe to it. If anything, just do the ceremony itself for the sake of it, but don't actually sign.
support?
And that's another interesting thing because a lot of these arguments, it goes beyond man and woman and it goes into the larger sphere as a whole, right? Because we talked earlier about war and how a lot of men used to die and that doesn't happen anymore. So what you used to have in societies, and I'm not saying I have all the answers, I'm just commenting, right? What you used to have in societies is a bunch of men would die at war because men have more dangerous lives than women. There'd be a bunch more women than men. The top Gs would impregnate a bunch of women, and the top Gs could take care of the women, and that'd be it, et cetera, et cetera. That's now changed, right? So a lot of the reason that monogamy is pushed is because it's good for society. And it is good for society. It's good for society as a whole to have a man, a woman, a family, they're together, the man provides for the woman, et cetera. The government doesn't want to pay for all these kids. If you don't have child support, who's paying for these kids? The government does it. It breaks down, right? So that's why child support is enforced in many parts of the world. In certain other parts of the world, child support isn't enforced because they have religious beliefs or genuine family beliefs that keep the families together. But in the Western world, now you need child support because you've broken things down to the point where men don't want to be married to chicks. Chicks don't want to listen to the man. The man can't even be the man in his own household. He can't even feel respected where he goes. His woman gives him no status. And now he doesn't want to fucking deal with her anymore. So how do you get that kid paid for? Well, then tell the man or you go to jail. And you just come along with the fucking long arm of the law and you fuck him. And so, yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to answer. Yeah, but it's hard to answer. The true answer to all of it is an idealistic answer. I don't like to think idealistically and talk idealistically, but it's the truth. The true answer to it is to instill in the man a sense of duty in which he wants to take care of his woman regardless, because that's his child. But you will do that. I'll tell you how you do that. You do that by inspiring out of the man by being a very good woman. So I'll give you an example. If I had a child with a woman, and she was always a great woman to me. She never cheated on me. She was a good woman to me. And I was running around being whatever. And she's like, look, I just can't put up with you anymore. You're top G. You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to look after your kid. You can see him anytime you want. I care about you. Please don't leave me in poverty. I'd say, cool. 100%. I'm not a fucking dickhead.
Can I
cool,
say
I got
But
you.
that's
I
a
got you.
real man, though, because I was in a situation but I was just in a situation like that to where it's like hearts don't break even. And that's the reality, too. It's like if those morals and principles are not instilled in a man, none of that shit matters. So obviously the child support stuff obviously hits close home to me because I'm already $50,000 just in lawyer fees trying to get him to provide. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like you play in the NBA, like why don't you want to do more? And it's just because again of the relationship. It's personal. It's not about our son.
Personal. That's right.
So it's like if you're not.
I just feel like it's like why do you get money for making a poor choice?
Well, it wasn't a poor choice because it took two.
I'm not trying to like disrespect you in any way. It's just like if you left. And
no.
so it's like, why do you get money for it? It just doesn't make sense.
because we made a commitment.
At
the end of the day, we made a commitment. We have a forever commitment. Fuck marriage. We are forever family.
But why don't you just have equally split time, and then whenever he's with the child, he takes care of the child, and whenever you're with the child, you take care of the child, and whoever has sole custody and responsibility takes care of the child majority of the time. You get what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. No need for anyone to fork out any more money than they need to. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure someone would not want their child to live in squalor unless they're a dickhead. So
again, as someone who is literally going through this, if I made more money than him, I would be paying him child support, and that would be fair to me.
But this is what's really interesting. What's truly interesting is if you go to other countries, and I'm talking about civilized countries, right? If you go to Poland or Czech Republic or whatever, these countries, which are in many metrics more civilized than the West, they're safer to live in, they're cleaner, etc. There's no child support laws. So if you have a divorce, the man just takes care of the woman because that's his kid and that's just what he's supposed to do and that's just it. So what you're saying is, you're right about the man having the morality instilled inside of them. And my point is that the reason a lot of this doesn't exist, the reason men don't have morality installed in them is not just about the individual case of the man. It's about society as a whole. It's about women as a whole, men as a whole, the dating game as a whole, the life he's living as a whole. And this is the world we live in. This is why I was talking about how dangerous new think is, because now we have this new think, this new world, and we're living in this new world. And the truth is, as a man, now the game has changed. In the game of chess, sometimes it's not about winning. It's about making sure you don't lose. If you can not lose, if you can not blunder any pieces and protect your king long enough, you'll win the game. And there's a lot of men who are now like, okay, how do I not lose? Well, you know what? I become fucking ruthless. That's how I don't lose. I get all my sex because the women are promiscuous. I get laid as much as I want. I don't let anyone fucking tie me into anything dumb. Any bitch wants to get fresh to me or fucking talk to another dude, I cut her off financially. And you just get ruthless so you don't lose the game. But that's because the game's been rigged against men. So the harder you rig the game against us, the more ruthless we're going to have to be to compete. And it's unfortunate. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying why men do what they do.
Can I just say with regards to Brittany, I just think that with regards to child support, you've got a kid, you look after it.
Nice.
And I do.
No, not you, the men.
Oh, I was saying, I do look after my son.
No, not you.
Okay, I was like, hold on.
That's why I said, that's why I said with regards to the child support. That's what I first said. I think that you have a kid, that you should look after it. I don't agree with men giving the women money. But I think it's disgusting that a man can have a child and not support him.
So do I. But this is another thing. So this is the comments we have to make, right? Because we don't have all the answers. We have to make the comments on it. This goes into the deeper point. Every time a court rules in favor of a chick having $100,000 a month, that puts men off to a level. Like, it's fine if there was a baseline child support, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That's if you have a kid, baseline, regardless of income. If your man wants to give you more, he does. If he doesn't, whatever. But when you come along and start saying this % of a man's income, do you have any idea how scary that is to a man who works for his money? He works for his money. And do you know why it's scary? It's not just because he's giving his money away. It's because he knows he isn't giving money to the kid.
Yeah.
The kid, you can raise a kid on $500 a month in most of the world. You want that kid in Gucci, you in a nice car, going on dates with another dude with my money. I'd rather burn the fucking house down than to give it to you under those
I
just think it incentivizes poor decisions. Like I haven't gotten pregnant by someone, but I'm saying, but like you're gonna pay someone who's done that. Like, why do they get?
No, but I'm literally telling you that if I made more money than him, I would have no problem paying for my child. And child support laws vary in different states. So in North Carolina, for instance, if you make over combined of $300,000 a year, then you are considered off the grid. So then you have to prove this is how much your rent is. Any bill that my son occupies, I get a percentage of. So on the low end, it would be 50%. If there's a big enough salary gap, it could be up to 97%. In the court, the judge gets to decide what makes the most sense. So if my child's father makes $20 million a year from basketball, he gets to decide if $6,000 is a lot, if $8,000 or $10,000, whatever. But you have to prove that. So it's not like you just it's enough money for a Chanel bag. Like these are my son watches Peppa Pig. That's a cable bill. You know what I mean? So it's a percentage of everything. So you're not like just living it up. You're just living. So you're able to. There's a roof over your son's head.
My whole point is that like it's all down to choices. And
the man made a choice too because I can't get pregnant unless he nuts in me.
I understand that, but I'm
then there's nothing to argue. You understand that.
You're the one that's you're in control of who gets born. Abortion's legal.
Okay,
as soon as he nuts, it's completely out of
That's
his
the truth.
control.
Listen,
Can I just say something though?
Wait,
just playing
Auntie,
devil's advocate that I had my child and me and the dad went together, and I didn't take a penny from him, and the government wanted me to, but I decided that no, that it was better off that my child I look after him myself. Anything he wants to give his son if he wanted to was extra, but I worked hard and I done it all on my own because it was just less because it's less headache.
Smart.
That you have to think that he's not going to be a man and take care of his child. Don't you think that's unfair on you?
Forcing someone to do something they don't want to do is not the answer. Forcing someone to do something they don't want to do is not the answer because that will build resentment for you and possibly, in a bizarre scenario, the child. So what you want to do is give people the freedom of choice, the choice to choose, and you hope they make the right choice. Because at the end of the day, when the child is older, they will find out on their own that, look, you didn't want to support me, mom supported me, and when that parent is in end-of-life care and needs to be taken care of, that child could easily say, no, you didn't take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. And that's the end of that story. Ain't that the truth?
Well, he made that child.
That's why I don't need a man
but the whole
attitude,
point
you
is
know.
you choose who you sleep with.
Your auntie's a G.
Wow, that's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
this is
top auntie.
What are we talking about?
I'm saying right now it's not fair because women have abortion that's legal. It's not legal for them.
Oh,
they get no say. They get no say, and the same thing with birth
I mean,
control.
I could have done, but it wasn't worth my time.
You can get
Why am I going to go and fight a man?
IUD.
Yeah,
it's like 99.9%.
But what if the man wanted the child though?
That's exactly my point. So I was on birth. Let's just use me as an example.
My point. I think he should. I think he should take care of it. I just don't agree with having legal incentives for women to leave. That's my point. He should give you money for the kid. If you have a kid, you should. But I just don't agree with
See, but the thing is, if men stood up and became fathers to their children, women wouldn't have
but if
to.
women, we're in control. We're in control of who we sleep with. So at the end of the day,
that's not the point, because he wanted the child.
But you pick who you sleep with. So if you pick a guy that's getting girls pregnant left and right,
but she doesn't know that he's not going to be there. She doesn't know that.
If she married him, she'd be all right.
She trusted this man to be a father to a child, and now she's left with a child, and no one's.
And that's why you get your family involved, your brothers, your cousins, your fathers, like who understand how other gentlemen think, and that will allow them to assess the validity and the authenticity of someone to the point where they can give you genuine insight into what they think is going on and what they think the likelihood of someone's moral character is, and whether or not they would leave you in such a situation. So you have to assess it, and if you feel like you don't have the acumen to assess it yourself, you get help from people who would be in that position, be able to assess another individual in that position. So, hey, do your due diligence.
Don't you think that's unfair?
Should have married him first.
I mean, you can get married.
Of course.
You get married.
That's what I'm saying. It's
You
just
think
like
marriage is what solves problems? Are you guys actually
No,
sitting
what I'm
here?
trying to say, marriage will solve her financial
You've already
problems.
spoken, Auntie. Please don't cut me off. This is the problem, yeah? Stop acting like every woman that leaves a marriage and gets divorced is because she's this and she's that. There's a lot of women that suffer, and they actually need the support and the legal incentive so that they know when they leave, somebody can back them up because they'll be on their own. Stop acting like men are angels, because there's a lot of men that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have from a man's world being difficult. The same way that Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man, and a lot of the time, the person that takes the brunt of it is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave, take her child, and be in a better place, and the government should step in to make sure that that man that made her make that decision steps in for their kid.
Can I say something?
Because the time that she takes to take care of the child is the time that she doesn't have to go to work, so she's already down on income, and she's having to be taking care of the child on her own. That don't make sense. Not every man is a bloody angel, and not every woman is a devil.
Don't pick men.
Wait, hang on a minute.
I'm gonna leave. Go ahead.
Hang on a minute.
How do you do that,
When
Pearl?
did I say a man was an angel?
How do you do that? How do you do that?
how
do you do that?
Oh, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. She had a point. She had a very clear point, a very valid point. Not everybody's an angel, not everybody's a devil. There's people in between. So you have to be very tactful in understanding what the situation is, and that's where it comes with like assessing the situation, where the situation needs to be assessed, and that's why you need the due diligence of your family members to help you in making a decision. Because again, if you think you can make it by your own, trust me, you might be blindsided, but other people might be able to see things that you might not see, and that's the key. You need more eyes on the problem. You need more eyes on the problem so you don't make stupid decisions.
I'm talking. I'm talking.
No,
I waited.
Woo!
I waited.
Auntie.
Right? So now it's my time to talk.
Auntie,
What I was saying to her is,
vicious.
is that if she had got married first, then she would have been all right. She would have to be fighting through the court. So the same law that you're saying would have supported her and her child. That is the difference between getting married first.
No,
and that's what I'm saying. And that's what when Pearl was saying
just
about.
gives you more money. Then
Hang on a minute.
divorce
Listen.
and kids.
You just
It's not a good decision, yeah?
Excuse me, but I shut up when you were talking.
Go on, apologies, my auntie.
Right.
I didn't mean to disrespect you.
So what I was trying to say is that there is an incentive when women get married first and have children.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm not
Auntie was
saying
about to raise
I'm
the
not saying that
backhand.
I'm just saying women in general. If a woman gets married first before she has a child and then it leaves, then it's totally different. Like he said before, she's set up for life. If she
But
leaves,
Auntie, just
she's
like
set up for
Tate
life.
said.
So if somebody
She's set up
else,
for life without marriage, though. That's the point.
No,
That's
and
even
that
what we're
is
you
discussing
say what
right
you want to
now.
hear.
No, and as a person, again, let's ask somebody who's actually going through it, because none of you fucking know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to child support, lawyers, none of that shit. None of you fucking know, okay? So you don't. The reality is, if I would have gotten married and did everything right and did everything the moral way, right? Guess what? All I would have on top of what I'm going through with child support is alimony. So I'm still in the courts fighting, whether I'm married or whether I'm not. So that I get what you're saying, because hey, you at least get the commitment to, maybe back up that he's going to be there, but it doesn't ensure anything. Everybody wants a fucking guaranteed thing.
No,
There's
hang on a
no
minute, 'cause
guaranteed in life.
when-
Yeah, but the likelihood is very, very high. The likelihood of you getting what you need is very, very high, as it is statistically. So for you to sit here and complain that it might not happen, you still be in the course. Yes, you're still in the course, but the likelihood of you getting what you want is higher. And that is what it is about. It is a probability game. And if you want to play the game, you have to study your probabilities. You have to know the chances of something happening. And if you know that the odds are in your favor, may the odds be ever in your favor. If you know they're in your favor, then you have nothing to really worry about. You just have to execute as others have executed in the past. So you'll be okay.
We're talking different places. When you're in America and you're married and you divorce, you still got to fight for your money. And would you still
Yes,
not
you
in
have to
England.
get a lawyer.
Right, not in England. In England, you get a
Oh.
lawyer and it's sorted. That's the difference.
But you-
You,
but
would
there-
have to be going there saying, "Oh, I need this for my child, and I need this." Once you get divorced and you go to court,
you
it's
still
that
need a
much.
lawyer.
Alimony and child
You
support
need
are
a
different.
I'm saying she just spent £50,000. She's still fighting. You would have to
No,
pay
but
that
even
here.
when you're
You
married
would
in
not
the
have to
UK,
pay
you
that
still-
here.
She's in
You
dream
would
world.
not
No,
have to
that's
pay that
why.
here. You would not have to pay that here. Do your research. You would not have to pay that
But you
here.
still need a
When you
lawyer.
get divorced,
Yeah.
she wouldn't be going for all the
Yeah, lawyer for
battles
like
that she's
1K.
going. It'd be
That's it.
simpler in England to
No,
get divorced than in
in England,
America.
maybe.
She will still
Maybe
That's
take
what
your
I'm
money,
saying.
boys.
It's still not that
They'll take your
simple.
money. Don't get married. Have a parental partnership. Love your woman. Pay whatever you
I
need to
just
pay
want
for
to
your
make
kids.
a point. You know what you were saying? Get married. Even Tate said it himself. Men don't want to get married anymore.
Why are you
So
not
it's-
turning what he's saying? Why are you not twisting what he's saying? You're not even listening to what
But
he's saying.
It's not
isn't it
attractive
true?
anymore. It's
Isn't it
more
true
at loss
that-
for a man to
isn't
get
it true
married.
that a lot
You're
of men-
taking, you're taking what he's saying and you're twisting it to suit
What did
yourself.
you
No,
say?
I'm not. He literally said, Tate, didn't you say that men are scared of getting married now?
What, yeah, okay, but why?
Because, like you said, with child support, they feel like there's no advantage.
That's-
And the alimony,
you say
it's
just
alimony.
get married. It's not that simple because men don't want to marry you.
Well, okay, so let's analyze that point. And first thing, back to the child support thing. What's actually interesting to talk about is there's a lot of countries in the world where there is no child support system, and it functions, right? So you have to, if you want to pay attention to actually, learn about society as a whole, it's very interesting to study all the different societies and economies in which there is no child support and children don't die. I mean, people get divorced and they still find a way to function. And it's interesting, and it's a very long conversation because it extrapolates about how the whole society works as a whole. That's the first point. Second thing, I'll actually sit here and argue the point that I don't think any man really ever wants to get married. I think that women convince him to get married. And I think that any woman who is genuinely serious about convincing her man to get married could do it. I don't think, in the modern world at least, men wake up and go, can't wait to get married. But what they do is they get a chick who's so good and ticks so many boxes and makes them so happy, and she'll sit there and say, you know what? It would mean the world to me. Please. And he'll go, oh, for fuck's sake, all right then. And that's what happens. So I still think you can convince 99.9% of men to marry you. The point I was making is, the society isn't convincing the man to marry you. It's not like it used to be where the man believed he had to be married. Society's done the opposite. So it's your job as a woman to make it clear to him that it is worthwhile. Mm-hmm. Once again, how would you convince a man it's worthwhile for him to say, that's my wife? Status. That's how you do it. This is a misunderstood hack to men as a whole, is status. If you can convince that man, but by marrying you, his status will increase amongst his peers, he's going to do it. And for anyone out here who disagrees with me, the things men do for status, let's actually analyze how baseline men are. What is status? Status is respect, right? Men kill over respect. Gangs kill each other over respect. A man will smash another man's face in for insulting him. We will die for respect and status. You tell me we won't get married? We'll die for we'll go to the front line of a war, and the only reason we don't walk away and abandon our post as artillery shells rain is because we're afraid of being mocked for being a coward. We'll die for status. So status is what it's all about. It's what it's always been about. You want a man to marry you, status. And it's the same thing with nearly anything you want to do with a man. I don't know anything about your personal life. I'll be honest, I don't know, right? But I'll tell you this now. If this dude, this NBA player, believed that he would be higher respected amongst his peers and amongst society for taking care of you properly, that's what he'd fucking do. He doesn't feel that because either he's rolling with the wrong people, or you've pissed him off in a way, or something public's happened. I don't have a clue. But something's happened where he feels like, if I take care of her, I'll look like a bitch. That's what he's scared of. If it was inversed, he had no problem giving you money. Because that's how men function. I'm telling you right now, as a man, I'm telling you what I would do. If I had a chick with a woman, right? and she went on the news, top G's this and fucking, like I said, I have no idea what you've done, but I'm just giving my personal made-up scenario.
Oh, yeah.
She would go on the news, top G's this, and he fucking lied to me, he's a piece of shit, da-da-da. And then I bought her a Bentley, Williams would be like, well, look, she insults top G, she insults him, and he's a simp, da-da-da. But if she was like, you know what, he's misunderstood, he's a good guy, it just didn't work out, blah, 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 I'd bet she'd be in a mansion, right? And would that be me being a nice guy, caring about her? Or let's be honest, would it be me being a selfish piece of shit dude and saying, what makes me look better? Men are all about status. It's how we function. It's how we function as a whole. So society, this is where it extrapolates, it gets interesting.
He just dropped the game, and now Brittany has understood that in the situation where she was falling out with her man, what she did wrong is she blasted him on the socials and saying he's a POS. She said he's a piece of shit for XYZ. He didn't do this. He's not doing that. I have to take care of the baby. Da-da-da. He's not supporting. Da-da-da. He cheated on me. What a piece of crap. Da-da-da-da. She aired out all the dirty laundry. And that's the problem with these influencers and social media types. Is she aired out all her laundry to her followers to get a bit of sympathy, clout, whatnot. But that inevitably put him on the back foot to say, wow, you're going to air out everything like that. And then you're going to expect me on top of that to pay you and take care of you. Get that shit out of here. Ain't no fucking way. And as he's saying this, his little story, is perfectly analogous to what happened with her. So she's internalizing and realizing, oh shit, I fucked it. I fucked my own bag by being the person who airs out the dirty laundry on the internet. And there's no coming back from that because all those videos are there. You can try and recover it now by saying, oh, he's an amazing guy. I apologize for everything I did. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. It is too late. It is too far gone. You fucked your own bag.
When society with this new think has destroyed all of the baseline humanities and baseline understandings of how men interact with women, and now all the things we previously understood about what made a good man, what made a good woman, and how we should act together and how we should interact has been erased. Of course men are acting like dickheads, and of course women are doing wrong things, so nothing makes sense anymore. You've taken the chessboard and moved all the fucking pieces around. Nobody gets it. It should be very simple. I'm a man, I work hard, I take care of my woman. I'm the man of the house. She treats me with respect. She would never insult me or raise her voice to me in front of other people. She's a problem. She brings it to me in private. We act as a team. We work together. If we break up, she was a good woman to me. She fulfilled her roles the best she possibly could. I'm still a man. I'm going to take care of her. But all of that is gone. All of it's gone. All of it. And it's gone because of all the ideas we were discussing earlier. The feminism, the new age bullshit, the fucking dudes left and right and center. All these things, all these baseline things have eroded society to the point where now you have men ignoring their paternal instinct. You have men who will sit there and go, that's my child, but I fuck her. That's actually a massive observation to make about how fucked up society is. And it shouldn't be that way because men in a lot of the world are not like that. And so you have to look at all these small things. The small things we talk about, it's no big deal. She goes on boats in Miami. It's no big deal. It is a big deal because now that dude ain't going to want to fucking pay child support because you were on those fucking boats with the other team.
And the thing is that before...
Do you think that men...
Ooh,
Sagittarius.
he smoked that. He smoked that. On that note, let me take a toilet break because I will pee myself any second. I'll give you 2 seconds. Not even 2 seconds. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Not even 2 minutes. 1 minute. Ooh, I know you're probably wondering, that was so quick. Did he even wash his hands? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Continue.
Do you think that men marry for like high status families? Like I'm thinking of like Ivanka Trump. Like would someone marry a girl for like status in that way?
Well, that is one of the most, I mean, if you look at arranged marriages, it's all for status, right? That's an example. But men primarily marry for. I'd argue that men, and I say this about men, but women do the same thing, right? Women love the idea of getting status from a man. Women love the idea, and this is where it actually gets a bit messy. The waters get muddy because women love the idea of bragging about the man they're with, but they can only brag about the man they're with if other women want that man. So you're saying you love women who get cheated, women love getting cheated on. That's not true. But women do not like men that other women don't want. If you were to say, look, I got my man, he's perfect, he's rich, he da-da-da-da-da, and every girl in the room would go, I would never touch him. She'd be like, oh, shit. Oh, I don't want him.
But you know, can I add on top of that?
But it's true, right?
No.
Women want men that all the women want.
Do you know what's the best man that woman wants? Is the one that every girl wants, but he doesn't want them.
Okay.
The selective man.
Yeah,
I'm sure
That's more
But that's
valuable
the
than the top
problem,
But that's
that
the
gets every
fantasy.
You're
hose.
saying
That's
that
the
men,
fantasy.
But Tate,
No, that's
you're
not
saying
the
that
fantasy.
men are
That's
now
not that
polygamous
selective.
and women should accept that. That's the problem. Men are continuously disrespecting their woman. Like, yeah, you know what? You can't be with one woman. Now you want to keep cheating with all these
But
different women.
that's not what he said. He's saying if you're gonna go for a high status guy, if you're gonna go for the top 5% of guys, that's what comes with it. And if
Yeah,
not,
but
then go for the average guy.
Can I just say that before?
So is it okay for average guys to stick with one woman then?
It's not about okay. It's okay for anyone to do whatever they want. I'm not sitting here saying what's okay and what isn't okay. What I am talking about is observations about the baseline realities of how humans function. What I'm telling is if you give a man unlimited options, like the men at the top of society have, on a long enough time scale, he will explore said options. That is a fact. Like I said earlier, you can walk into a car garage and buy a Nissan, and that's reliable, and it'll never let you down. Or you can buy a McLaren. You cannot sit, like women do, and go, I want the McLaren that's reliable like the Nissan. Well, guess fucking what? That's not real. So you have to choose.
Can I ask you something,
question.
Mr. Tate? Can I ask you something?
I wanna
Years
go-
ago,
The
right,
truth hurts.
do you think it makes a difference?
It is what it is.
Years ago, if you want to meet a man, you go out there and you actually talk. But now you meet a guy, he can go and check out your IG and see what you're all about. Don't you think that by them being able to look and see what you're all about, that makes a difference to how they perceive you?
100%. I think society is fundamentally and utterly broken. I think the way that men and women interact is broken. I think that men are broken. I think that women are broken. I think everything is completely fucked, genuinely. And this is where we go into the small things. We're talking about status. You're right about IG. If I go on a date with a girl and I look at her Instagram page, I'm sitting there thinking, does this make me look good or bad? Yes, I want her to be hot. Yes, I want her to have followers. Yes, I want everyone chasing her. But what's that caption about fucking city life? And what's this about? What's that? That's not, nah. That puts me off, right? So it's interesting. What's also interesting is the majority of women don't have a clue in the modern world what men find attractive. So we said earlier in the very beginning of this podcast about men who want their dick sucked and all this bullshit. Men don't, that's not attractive to men. We don't want any of that. Most women, if you were to say, how do you attract a man, they wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. They wouldn't have an idea.
I know. They want a submissive woman.
Hello, my
She
name's
cooks for
Nova.
him. Give him some massage.
It's not- no, but it's not-
Feed him great.
It's not just, no, it's not even
Pat
just-
his head.
It's not just about that. One of the
Mocking it.
important things for being a man, especially in a relationship, is we want to be our woman. If I have a woman and I love her, I want to be her portal to the world. I want her to experience things through me and see things through me. So for that, I need a degree of innocence and purity for her. I want to be the first person to put her on a private jet. I want her to get on the jet and go, wow, I did it. Oh, you took me. It's like you wouldn't want to give someone a Christmas present if they'd had 10 presents better than you beforehand.
Yeah,
Would
it's
you?
like, that's
It's like,
right.
well, duh.
Yeah.
So as a man, as a woman, what makes you attractive to a man, to a degree, is your innocence and your purity. This is very important. And it can go down to very basic, simple things. I'll tell you, if I walk in a club, do you know who the hottest girl in the club? It's the girl who isn't dancing, isn't twerking on a fucking stage, not surrounded by dudes. When girls want male attention in a club, they start drinking, twerking. That is the most revolting, haram bullshit. I may want to fuck you, but I don't want to be with you. If you show me a girl sitting in the corner, shy, I'm like, good, she hasn't experienced too much life. I can show her things. And also, not just show her things. This is a very important point that I get attacked by the Matrix for because they completely misunderstand me on purpose. As a man, if I'm out here struggling and leading and trying to lead my household, I also want a woman who shares my values. I want to a degree to educate my woman and show her things and for her to agree with me. Like you said earlier, looking for a male role model. You want to be a role model to your woman. If she's too experienced with life, it's difficult to be a role model. If she's sitting there shy and quiet, you can come along and say, no, you know what? Don't take the fucking vaccine. Listen to me. And you can be a role model for her. You can't do that for a woman who knows too fucking much, knows too many dudes, been too many places. So it's this degree of purity that we're looking for that's super important.
What about intellect, though?
I'm curious. If you said if she's like done too many things, that's like bad, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm not even talking sexually, like been on a private jet.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I lived a
But how do you get on a private jet without sucking dick?
Oh, I was just curious because my dad's part of like he's top like 1% in terms of like income, and I was just curious, is it different if you did stuff with your dad?
Well, no, that's fine.
No, not like that.
As
not
in, like,
sexual.
dad
That's
is the one
not.
that-
No, I mean,
She said private jet.
Yeah, she's taking it the wrong way.
Well, I mean, I know exactly what
No,
you're saying.
yeah.
But my point is that we're looking for a true degree of innocence inside of females, and it's that innocence that's going to make us feel protective over them, and that the protectiveness is going to make us be good men. So when we're looking at society as a whole and how broken it is, I understand that men have a massive role to play, women have a massive role to play, but a lot of the paternal instincts and instinctual behaviors of men, because the instinctual behavior of man is to die for his woman. Like someone comes to try and take her, pull a sword, die to defend her, right? If you're going through life and you find that men don't really feel about you that way, that's because a lot of their instinct is being eroded by the fact that you, like you said, they look through your IG or they look through your life, and you live so much life. And they just feel like there's nothing new I can bring to this girl's reality.
But
There's
I
nothing
don't
new.
feel like that's true though, because like I think it's like I get what you're saying to a
What
degree,
is
right?
she? Brittany, listen.
But it's like you could be on a private jet 10 times,
I'm Brittany, bitch. I had to do that.
but it's gonna be special because it's with you.
No, it is not. No, it is not. No, it is not. Because you develop a bougie ass almost facade because this happens. The ego gets too big. Oh, I've been there. Oh, this is nice. Oh, the other one was a bit better. You have comparisons, things to compare it to. That becomes a problem because when you have same thing with like when you have many partners, you have things to compare that stuff to, and then that will now start to hinder you because you're like, oh, but then no, I don't know, that was better. This was
Not for him.
It's just rough.
Not for him. For him, it's special because it's your first time. Because men, maybe it's a biological predisposition. Maybe it's just the way we're designed. But let's tie it back to sex. Virginity, first time. It's not that you've done it. It's that you've done it with the first time with me. That's what is important. It's experience as a whole that men find. It's just the truth. Call me misogynistic, cancel me, whatever. I'm telling the truth. I always have done. It's experience of life as a whole that men, to a degree, find off-putting. We don't want a woman who's had a bunch of trauma, had a bunch of experiences, done a bunch of shit, knows a bunch of people, been a bunch of places. That's the absolute opposite of what we want. We want the complete polar opposite of that. And what's funny is women want men who have done those things. I'll tell you right now. Go out there and find a virgin woman and say, do you want to have your first boyfriend? Do you want to lose your virginity to a virgin man or a man
virgin hunk.
or a man who's had a couple girls? She'll choose a dude with experience as a virgin herself. Experience is always coveted and respected in men. It's the opposite in women.
That's true.
It's true. So we have to look at how fucked up the world is. Women, especially between their 18 and 28, or 18 and 25, let's say, are living these crazy lifestyles, these crazy lives with the most important people, richest people on the planet, doing everything that can be experienced under the sun. And then at 29, 30, some dude's expected to come along, know he's second place to X, Y, Z, and be happy with that, and not allow it to hurt his ego, and sit there and pick it up and put a fucking brave face on. It kills him every day inside. That's the reality. He's in love with you, and you've been fucking where with fucking who? I can't afford a jet. I'm Joe Schmo.
Okay.
That fucking breaks their hearts.
Do you think that hoes can ever be turned into?
Okay, I'll answer that question. The answer is actually,
No.
truthfully, yes. Which I know a lot of people are confused by. They can. If you're a good enough, high enough level man, you absolutely can turn a hoe into a housewife. But why the fuck would you? Because you don't have to. A man like me, I could, but I'm not low on options, so I would never decide to do that. If you're a billionaire, could you? You can find an old rusty car and rebuild it, or you can just buy a new one, right? So it's not about what could be done; it's about what will be done. So once women hit a certain status of man, I don't think women are stupid. I actually argue the fact that women have a beautiful intuition.
Or what will.
I think that women, to a degree, their intuition is truly almost psychic. The number of times I've come home and she's like, "You were cheating." And I was like, how the fuck does she know I'm fucking cheating? Like, you have intuition and it's real. You guys are smart, right? And if they get to a certain echelon of man, they're not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere else to go. They're going to get to a guy eventually. They're going to stop at the buck and go, you know what? Where am I going to surpass this specimen? So I'm just going to behave for
Wow.
him. So you could turn a hoe into a housewife that way. But why would a man at that level want to do that?
Why do some guys at certain, and this is obviously a celebrity example, but I'm sure we can all think of examples in like day-to-day life where a guy with a lot of options does pick a hoe and like wife her, like for example Kim and Kanye. Because Kanye clearly has options,
She
right?
did not want to be a housewife. She was a project.
Okay, I understand. I'm just asking because some guys do pick.
Yeah, they do, and it's a really good point. And I have nothing bad to say about Kanye. In fact, I think a lot of the work he's doing now in terms of attacking the Matrix is important. But I can give you a generalized answer. But it's a man who is not true to his masculine imperative, which is going to fall for the propaganda machine, which is being purported upon him, who's going to believe that all the crap that is being told by society, like a female's past doesn't matter and all this shit doesn't matter. This is what's interesting in the fight against the Matrix, because people always say to me, Andrew, why do you come here and say all these things? They're literally trying to destroy your life for what you say. And the truth is, as a man, you have two choices. You either fight against the programming and the brainwashing they're trying to put inside of all of our minds, or you end up fighting against yourself. If you're a man and you sit down and you believe the garbage that society's telling you about how society functions between men and women, you're going to end up getting fucking wrecked, like these dudes do. They sit there and go, just because she's fucked everyone doesn't mean she'll do it again. Just because, and they sit there like dummies, and they get fucking wrecked. Right? You have to sit there as a man and go, no, I don't give a shit what society's telling me. I understand something, baseline about humanity, right? And that's why they make these poor choices, and a lot of men do make these poor choices, but it's only in the West. It's only in the West where this propaganda machine exists. You will not find a Russian billionaire doing this dumb shit. You will not find a Chinese billionaire doing this dumb shit. You do not go to Saudi and find a sheikh doing this dumb shit. None of it. You only find it in the West.
Do you think the values of the West are spreading?
What values?
So
Name a value of the West.
sorry.
No values,
I
nothing.
I mean, like the ideas of the West. Like I've just gotten, like I get messages from people like from all over.
You said no
and,
values.
Like in places
Mad.
like India, I've
There
heard
are values,
feminism is
but
spreading there. Like
they're
I've
not
heard
valued
that,
that high
to be
across the
true.
world.
So firstly, the West has no value. The only thing the West seems to defend fervently is LGBT. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not. I'm just saying it's the only thing that they'll stand up and fight for. I don't know why. It's weird. Like this, they don't care about anything else. They don't care about children going without child support. They don't care about people dying in wars. They don't care about our parents being in parenting homes. They don't care about crime. They don't care about no one being able to pay their energy bills. They don't care about nothing. But they give a shit for some reason about this one thing, and they'll fucking throw the flag all around the world.
Surrounded around sex.
That's all they care about. It's fucking strange. So that's the first thing about the values of the West. Second thing, the harder society and the harder the life is as a whole, the longer it's going to take for feminism to spread. Feminism only exists in a vacuum of an easy life. If you're living in a society like India where life is hard, feminism disappears because the harder life is, the closer people naturally revert to their gender roles. If you got a bunch of 10 men, 10 women, stranded them on a desert island, and they had to survive, very quickly the men would do men shit and the women would do women shit. There'd be very little talk about feminism and equality, and all this shit would fucking vanish when shit hits the fan, right? So in countries where life is harder, feminism can't take hold because feminism can only exist in a vacuum of a very privileged life. I'm sure there's some kid in India who didn't get laid off some chick and he's complaining she's a feminist. There's a bunch of dumb shit, right? But I think the world is going to get a lot harder. I think the world is cyclical. I think it's been easy for a while. I think hard times are coming. And when hard times come, people are going to naturally revert to what gives them the highest chance of survival, which is gender roles, right? I have the best chance of survival being a man, and a woman has the best chance of survival being my woman. That's how she's going to function.
Do you think women typically are happier as housewives rather than a career?
Well,
depends on the career.
No,
Depends on the man.
The answer is absolutely and utterly yes, because giving life is the most beautiful thing a female can do. That's what you've evolved to do. That's the thing that men cannot do. I think that women who focus on having children and do their best to be good mothers in the end are the happiest females on the planet.
Being a mother and being a housewife is kind of different, though.
Okay, no, but it's essentially the same thing. If you're a housewife long enough, I'm going to assume you're going to end up having children. And I think that the sooner a woman has children, the better. If she can find a good man and have a child, that's a fantastic thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I don't see the point in a woman slaving away for a corporation that doesn't care about her as opposed to slaving away for her own flesh and blood. I think that's a complete waste of a life. I think if men are already doing that, why would you want to go along and do that
because
as well?
a career is not just...
Ooh, ain't that the truth? Let that ring true. Why would you slave away for a corporation that doesn't care about you when you can slave away for your own blood and family? The people who you're connected to the most. If you're willing to listen to people at your job, who do not care about your best interest, but interest of the company rather than listen to the people in your family, in your life, the people directly opposite you, your partner, who cares the utmost about your well-being and your prosperity. You sooner listen to your workplace than to your partner. That speaks volumes about the type of person you are and the values you hold dear to yourself.
Career can involve a million different things.
Well, that's exactly what a career is. It's slaving away for a corporation that doesn't care about you. And
It's
I
facts.
understand you have to pay the bills, and I understand you don't want to be completely sufficient. You want to be self-sufficient. You don't want to be dependent on a man. I understand all that. But in an idealistic scenario, in the vacuum of ideology, if you could sit and be a woman and focus on having children or focus on doing a job, I think on a long enough time scale, you're going to be much happier with your progeny as
So,
opposed to working a job.
Can I ask you a question? Because I feel like we talk a lot about hoes, we talk about a lot of the extreme. There's a lot of gray matter in the middle.
Sure.
Where a lot of women kind of get lost.
Yep.
For example, I think that one of the issues sometimes that I hear a lot about, and I personally may say I feel it sometimes, is that when you're also a quite educated woman, intellectual, intelligent, whatever, smart, a lot of the time, naturally, you speak in a way that stands out from other people,
Yep.
right? And I find that a lot of the time, that kind of intimidates some of the man them, where they start thinking this.
It's not even intimidation. It's annoying because it comes off as you know it all. And no one likes a know-it-all. Because, again, sometimes just keep quiet and listen. Even if you know the answer, you don't need to say it. Let the answers be naturally, converged upon. But if no one's coming up with the answer, then you can reveal the answer in privacy if you're with your partner and or, no need to speak up and be, I don't know. I feel like that's the key there. Like, it's just almost like outshining your partner, essentially.
Too much. Now, it is not my fault that I'm smart. It's not my fault that I can put one and one together very nicely, very quickly. What kind of man is going to...
And I think it's almost like, again, it becomes very irritating because if you have a disagreement, that disagreement would become very logical very quickly. And again, if someone obviously has the acumen to articulate their points very, very well, it becomes very difficult to argue against that person in terms of, even though you might be right, that person might be able to spin a better narrative to tug on more emotional, heartstrings and allow them to appear to be the victor when actually, in pure fact, you were right. So, again, it makes it more, there's a lot of gray area that makes it a bit more difficult when you're having discussions and conversating. That will probably end up in a lot of arguments because, no one wants to lose or back down because, again, if they value the mental acumen, the superiority in the intellect, they're going to make it a point to flex that every time they have a chance.
to handle that?
Give me a minute.
This woman laughs like I don't speak 4 languages and got 3 degrees. Now I thought
Wait, is she trying to say you're not smart?
it's okay. I speak how I do for a reason. So please,
That's
sir,
kinda
can you help
rude,
me out?
though.
I'm trying to find a husband, the kind of beast that can handle a woman like me.
Well,
No,
this is another.
you don't have to
point,
handle
right?
anything.
And I'm only answering generally, right? Because this is the first time I've met all of you ladies. You've all been very polite to me. You've all been very nice. I'm just talking generally. And I'm going to answer it based on your last sentence. Your last sentence was handle a woman like me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
You don't have
look
to handle.
at the average man's life, like I just discussed earlier, how difficult it is, how competitive he has to be, and how many problems he has to fix. Do you think he wants to handle any woman?
Okay, so
Fact.
Like the idea of any degree of problem. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like the point of having a woman as a man for me
Is peace, tranquility, and the ability to ease stress and relieve you of the burdens of the day. That's the key. If you come home and there are burdens of the night, you might as well go back to work because there's no point being there. Stress on stress does not produce any kind of success or optimal environment for you and your family to succeed, because if he's stressed coming from work and he's stressed at home, he will not succeed. There is no way. There is absolutely no way. Hence, you must be the peace.
for me at least, is for her to be my peace and quiet.
Exactly.
My life is stress. You see me, I'm rolling around with fucking security teams, and I got problems, and they're after me, and when I come home to my chick, the last thing I want to do is have to handle anything. I want her to just sit the fuck down and her make me happy. She used to be my positive energy. She used to be my sunshine in the rainstorm.
Okay.
So you're talking about him handle you. I don't know. I can't answer the question exactly. But if you're sitting there constantly arguing over small points or correcting him or that, he's probably thinking, this is a battle. I don't have the energy for another fight.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I hear
now
that.
let me add extra context to what I So obviously submission is something that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a logical person, I believe, and I
Oh.
submit with logic. I don't submit by default because there's
Okay.
a level of respect that I believe I need to have
Yes.
to be able to submit. Obviously, it's
I
not
agree.
that I go around and I disrespect all men and everything, but I find that my level of thought process a lot of the times
It makes it hard. No. So I know what you're trying to say.
yeah, thank you.
You know, but you need to find a man you truly respect to submit to him,
Yeah.
and I completely respect that. And that's the same with 99% of women. Like you're never going to submit to a man you don't respect. And respect is ultimately important because you're not going to sleep with a man you don't respect. You're not going to be attracted to a man you don't respect. Respect is the bottom line of it, and the man has a job to do. He has a duty to do to be worthy of respect. But this all goes back into a very interesting point. Some of the points I've kind of mentioned earlier. If I was a woman, if I was a chick, the chance of me ending up in a relationship with a man I don't respect is 0%. I don't understand how you girls end up. Well, I do understand how you girls end up here. You end up here because of feminism, promiscuity, promises that running around taking dick is fine, dumb shit, stupid decisions. I'm independent, so it doesn't matter that he's a dummy. Bunch of garbage. When you should be waking up going, you know what? I'm going to be extremely selective, and I'm going to take my time and be very, very smart because you're the gatekeeper. By the time you're in a relationship with somebody, you should have immense respect for that man. Absolute immense respect. You shouldn't be able to get there any other way. The only reason you got there is because you've been tricked by society and lied to and told a bunch of fucking bullshit. So,
Yeah.
so you're talking about submission and respect. Yeah, it'll come when you meet the right man, naturally. And this is another point I make because I have a lot of men message me. I trust, guys, please understand, I'm the most Googled man on the planet. I have 100,000 emails a day from people,
Damn.
and I get dudes email me, how do I get my woman to submit? And I can't reply to all the emails, but if I ever read them, I'm like, bro, you're a fucking dork. Why would she reply to you? Why would she submit to you? You're a fucking nerd. That's the truth. I'm not out here saying submit to all men. Men are the boss. I'm saying, listen, there's natural balance in the universe. When you meet a G, I've never had trouble with a woman obeying me. She just wants to. It's natural for our dynamic. If she didn't want to obey me, we wouldn't even get to the point of a relationship. If she didn't feel like she wanted to listen to me, we would have never got to where we want to get. It just doesn't work. That shit only happens when the female's fucking giving up sex too easy and the dude's just picking up easy pussy and they end up in some bullshit relationship. They don't even like each other. That's dumb shit. That's dumb shit, right? But I don't have any of these problems in my life. And if you're a dude at home and you're watching this and you go, I want my woman to submit, and she doesn't, guess what? She doesn't respect you. And guess whose fault that is a lot of the time? Your fault. It is your fault as a man.
Tell
It is.
Yes.
No, it is.
Yes.
No.
That's what
no,
you guys need to damn hear. Tell him.
But
please.
it's not
Tell him.
about blaming men and women because everyone has a problem. But then there's also men who are worthy of respect who women refuse to respect
True.
because of society.
Tell the
so
sisters
there's two sides to it, right? But a lot of it is if you're a capable enough man and you're brilliant enough, then the female has no choice. But it's very interesting. This goes back into a point I made earlier about how important it is for us men to find women who we don't believe have had a lot of life experience and look like they are. Because I got attacked. I'm going to make this point right now. I got attacked when the Matrix attacked me and fucking lied about me. They said that men are interested in women who are younger because they're more programmable. And that they're trying to make out that I'm making out that men are out here trying to get women and fucking do bad things to them. No. What I'm saying is, if you find a woman who's younger and been through less things, less trauma, less relationships, less headache, she's lived less life, your ideals, if you ask any woman who loves her man, what's your favorite song? His favorite song. Who do you vote for? Who he votes for. What's your favorite car? His car. That's how it happens when a woman loves a man. And that makes the man feel good, right? If she's been through too much shit, then that's a lot harder to pull off. So that link is very important for men and women. But so yeah, the Matrix attacked me with that. But it's very, very interesting. You have to understand all these small sub-dynamics and why things are happening and why the world is the way it is. And the baseline of it is that everything's fucked. Men aren't acting like men and women are acting like women, and it's all messed up.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so what about like your own autonomy and like just like your favorite car is your favorite car, my favorite car is my favorite car. Like why does it have to?
Okay,
I
so-
guess that's where I'm
It's
confused. Like why?
agreeableness.
Why does it have to be like that?
Yeah, and that's a good point, right? I understand that completely, but I'll give you an example. I'll talk from personal experience because it makes it easy for me. I have a bunch of cars. I love cars. I have 32 cars. My favorite car's X. I pick up a chick. This is my, what's your favorite car? This one. I like that one. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, no big deal. But the agreeableness is ultra attractive. It depends what the woman wants to do, right? If I was a woman, and let's say I'm 22 years old, and I meet a billionaire, and it's my goal to marry this man, and I go to his house, and I say, wow, you have so many cars. What's your favorite car? This one. Really? I thought that one too. It looks so good. Why that one? Because this. Oh, really? Okay, I'll try and remember that. That's how you get the dude, right? You don't get the dude by going, well, that one is a better color. You're a dickhead. It may be small things. It may be tiny things, but men are ultra interested in things like agreeableness.
So
We're ultra interested in the idea of a woman absorbing our worldviews. We're ultra interested. We are. That's what we're looking
Oh,
for.
ain't that the truth? Lord, we pray that people can assimilate, and I think that's one of the key things that is not understood, like from men to women or from women to men, is the need for cohesion in the understanding and your view of the world. You have to come to some mutual understanding of how you see the world and how you move forward through the world, so that if you move forward through the world, it could be streamlined. You both understand the values and views of the world, and you can move through it without any rigidity, without any friction. Because as the world changes, you hold true and stay true to your values and beliefs, and you understand exactly what you need to do in that changing climate. But if you have differing ideals, then that might cause friction, as let's say one of you gets taken by the whims of the world and how the world is moving, and the other one sticks firm to what they think is right. That will divert you onto different paths, eventually leading to the destination of said relationship. So you have to come to an understanding of what those values are and uphold them with everything you have, because that's what you're going to have at the end of the day.
The woman's
What-
identity,
wait,
though,
what if you
because
say-
she doesn't like the car?
No,
So
wait.
why should she agree to a car that she doesn't
she
like?
she
Why do
doesn't-
you want to be with
she-
someone
she doesn't
that
have to
doesn't know
agree.
who they
Yeah.
are?
Yeah.
She doesn't have to agree.
Can I say, I
I'm telling
like
you what
this
the man
one.
wants.
This is my
I think this is the thing. It's like it's not about not like agreeing. It's about ensuring that it is understood that I am on your page regardless what the situation is. That is the difference. It's not agreeing for the sake of like, oh, just to seem likable. It's agreeing for the sake of the understanding that no matter the situation we are in as a couple, I will be on your side. Whatever you decide to do, I will follow you, because you have achieved X and got yourself to this point, and I am trusting that you can get us as a partnership, as a couple, to that next level.
my favorite, but I
it's
like
more
yours
like
too.
it's-
Yours is quite nice, Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's quite good. But I like this one, but I like that one as well.
You
Is
sound
that
like
fine?
you want a slave.
Is
Like
that
someone
fine?
that doesn't have their own mind.
That's
Not
just
at
not
all.
going against
No, it's you have your own mind, but it's you are smart about. It's not even about you. You have to be smart and tactile about what you do. The smartest people will use what they have, the information they have, to achieve what they need to achieve. If by going in and saying my favorite color is your favorite color, and you understand that that will give you the greatest probability of achieving your set goals, then you would do that, because you understand that it will benefit you and the other person in the long run. It's a win-win. So why not win-win? Why do you have to then say X, and sabotage your potential future and sabotage this person's, likely interest in you?
But it's just being nice. It doesn't cost you much.
it's like,
so-
yeah, you can say, "Oh, baby."
men don't want a girl that's nagging on them for the smallest things. It's like, why are you giving a guy a headache
No,
over
no,
a
no,
that's not
car?
nagging. That's not nagging. That's
Obviously,
not nagging, though.
He's
Bro,
saying,
bro,
oh,
check
what
that.
car do you like?
I
Why
just-
does she have to
I'm
say
talking-
his car?
guys,
Like, she
guys,
likes a different
I just
car.
gave you a solution, though.
I am talking about how, as a female, to be as attractive as possible to men. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a man if you say another car. I'm saying, how do you be as attractive as possible? Because
Be nice about it.
Because you also don't understand how men think. It's different if you come to my house and choose to like another one of my cars. But what if I only have one car? And now you say, well, no, I picked you up in my BMW. Oh, yeah, it's nice. I prefer Mercedes. You know what a man thinks the second you say that? Who picked you up in a Merc? That's the first thing that goes through his fucking mind. How do you know about Mercedes?
What
Who
if you,
put you in a
what
fucking
if you
Merc?
can buy your own Mercedes?
That's not what,
Exactly.
that's
What
not
is
what
that?
crosses the man's mind. I'm telling you how men think.
But then that's why, and that's why.
Denalva,
Yeah, sorry,
what percent of women can really afford their
Bro,
own Mercedes?
yeah, especially when you go
Sorry.
No,
Women
guys,
can afford their own car. I bought my own car.
I said a
drive
Mercedes. I
BMW.
said okay. I said
Bro, chill,
I drive a
chill,
BMW.
I said okay.
chill.
I'm really
You're
happy
on
for you.
gas,
I'm really
bro.
happy
He's
for you.
thinking I drive a
I said
Bugatti,
the average woman makes $35,000 a year.
It's not that hard in
That's-
this UK. You
That's
know.
not
okay.
that
Okay, I
hard.
said
I
okay.
still
We're
feel like that's
talking
not
about
venturing from the point.
okay.
That's
Okay,
still venturing from the point.
I'm really happy for you.
Ooh. Hey, that was
Lighting
a
Heavyweight
long...
2 is a powerful testosterone booster which is
really?
legal, safe and natural.
really happy for your car. But the average woman, I'm saying but the whole point is that what percent of women even earn that much? It's not a high percentage. So when a guy hears
But
that
you
you
don't
have
need to earn that
wait.
much.
When a guy hears that you've been in this car and that car and that car, his automatic assumption is that you're an average girl.
And that foolishness.
And that you've been with a bunch of guys to get to that point. I've had a lot of experiences because of my dad, because my dad's very successful. But I've been in situations where I've said, like, oh, I did this, and they think it's with a guy, but it's with my dad. Because most guys assume that you were an average person.
And that's the
can I just
Do
problem.
you not think that's demeaning a
Can I-
woman
can I
to
just
say
say-
that she can't afford a lifestyle for herself?
It's not demeaning a woman. It's looking at a balance of probabilities. If I meet an average guy, I assume he makes average money.
Sounds like a traumatized
I
brother
think it's just
who's been
it's
dealing with too
based
many
on
hoes.
what.
Out of experience.
Wait. It's based on a balance of probabilities.
Can I just say something? That it's all about making a man feel like everybody says, oh, he's a top G. But it's like, if your man put up a light fitting, and you're standing there watching him put up the light fitting, or you, Denalva, they're watching a man put up a light fitting, what would you say while he's putting it up, and how would you react?
I'd be like, you're probably doing it wrong, but I'll let you finish, and then when you get back, I'll fix it.
Right,
That's
all right
the
then, but
problem.
hang on a minute, and how would you act if your man was
I
putting up
wouldn't
a
have
light
told him.
fitting?
I'd be like, well done, thank you, baby.
Okay. Well,
Oh, I'll be like, see, the thing is, I
no,
agree.
just answer the question. Just answer the question.
please,
Just
I'll
answer
be
the
like,
question,
your
bro.
man
Stop
putting
trying to
up a
make it
light fitting,
long.
I'm just
Hey,
asking a
Josh.
I'll be like,
What's
thank
a light-
you, babe.
what's a light-
Thanks for
God
putting up the
damn,
light
Nigel.
fitting. I
Right.
appreciate you.
My man put up a light fitting. I was like, wow. He got it all out. It was all in boxes. He got his toolbox. He was up there on the ladder. Whatever you want me to hand you. I was like, oh my God, you're stripping wires. Oh my God. Then he said, oh, turn it. When it finished, I was like, it works. That's what he's talking about.
I agree.
That is what he's talking about. When he's talking about the car, he's not saying you can get your own car. He's saying make the man feel like he's doing something, make him feel appreciated.
That's right.
Like act like a child.
No, I
like,
agree, I
you know,
agree.
and that's what he's saying. He's not saying that, oh yeah, you don't like that car. It's like, my man got a car. It's like, oh my God, it's got heated seats. Oh,
That's
I
the
like
same
heated
way a
seats.
girl likes
Oh,
to hear,
I
you're the
got-
most
I
beautiful
got a
girl in the
Mercedes.
world.
Exactly. I think it's got to be a balance, though. Like, yeah, I agree. I like to make my man
Listen,
feel
right.
good. When my man
It
dresses
has
up,
to be
I'm
a
like,
balance. That's how you lose. It has to be a balance. That's how you lose. If you want to win and win flawlessly, flawless victory, you have to do what you have to do. And if you want a balance, you have a balanced amount of happy, a balanced amount of sad. I'm telling you.
You look so fine. Like, I like to make
In
my
that
man feel good,
situation.
but he has to do that to me as well.
Listen, right.
Oh,
He has
obviously.
to offer me that
I listened to
sexual
Mr. Tate, right, say about, let me put, for instance, there's an artist
Well.
that I like. My man likes it too.
Yeah.
COVID had just sort of like finished. I got 2 free tickets to go. My man said to me, you're not going. What would you do?
I'm going.
What
What would you do?
exactly?
What? You can't tell me what to do.
Why am I not going?
It doesn't matter. He said to
It
you, you're
does
not
matter
going.
because that's just illogical submission.
I
for
know.
me. Okay, why
That
tell me why I
doesn't
can't
make
go?
sense.
then?
Okay, no, but the
Like-
whole point is you pick someone that you respect.
I think she's about to say what I'm about to say now, but you understand that person has the best interest, has your best interest in mind. I would never lead you astray and will always do things for your betterment. So if someone was to tell you that don't do X and you then have to, why would I do X? The fact that you have to ask why would I do X insinuates that you do not trust that they have your best interest in mind and the best interest of the relationship in mind. But if you just say, okay, cool, that shows that you understand that this person has the best interest for you and you trust their judgment and or leadership.
Respect enough to trust his judgment,
I didn't go.
even when you disagree.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
I want to find
See,
somebody
that I don't agree with.
respect enough
Because
to
you're
not
your
bring
own
me
person.
stupid,
Just
stupid
because you're in a
freaking-
relationship.
But why
guys,
Hang on a minute.
stop.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait.
Don't
We
bring
need
me
one at a time.
stupidities.
Why would you think it's something
Wow.
stupid or whatever? You trust the man enough to be with him. You trust the man enough to sleep with him. So why won't you trust his
Okay.
opinion? Why does he have to give that? If I say to my man, like I went in,
Right.
if I say to my man, don't do this. The first thing is you're thinking, not she's telling me what to do. There must be a reason behind it why she's telling me not to do. Because she trusts me. I did not go. I had 2 free tickets. I did not go.
I'll tell you
does
why.
that not
Wait. Auntie, you asked me a question. I'll tell you why. Because the same way a man wants that sort of validation, a woman wants assurance. I don't want to just blindly do everything all the time, especially sometimes I'm thinking, okay, that's a bit
Okay, so
shit.
let's talk.
That's what submission
No,
is.
so let's make
Yeah,
a
but
point.
that's
Auntie
fine
made a really important point.
submission.
Auntie made a really important point because the point she's making is twofold and it's extremely important because a lot of women talk about being submissive, but they're submissive when it suits them. That's not submission. So she wanted to go to the concert. He said no. She trusts him as a man. She didn't go. Absolute respect for that. That's exactly what my woman would have done. Exactly the same thing. Women go, I'm submissive. You're submissive when he's buying you shit in bed and you're submissive. But the second he says something you don't like, you instantly turn off the submission and run your fucking mouth. That's not submissive. That's manipulation. That's bullshit. So that's the first thing. The second thing is responsibility and authority are linked. And as a man, if I'm going to be responsible for a woman, I need a degree of authority over her. This is the reality of it. If I'm going to be responsible for paying your bills, and responsible for your personal safety, and responsible for your personal development, and responsible for fixing the life fitting, and responsible for everything that I'm supposed to do as a man, I need a degree of authority to sometimes come along and say X, Y, Z, and be obeyed. If I'm going to have a ship, if you have a ship, the reason the captain has to go down with the ship is because he is responsible for everything that happens on that ship. And because of that, he has authority. If he yells at the shipmates and they all ignore him, then he can't be considered responsible for the problems on the ship, which means he doesn't have to die with it. If you want a man invested in a relationship, he needs to be responsible for you, but he needs authority over you. And you know what? The smartest thing you can do as a woman is sit and go, you know what? Go into this concert. It's 2 hours. But this is going to piss him off, and it's going to be a splinter in his mind for years. Is this really worth it? Now, I'm not saying let some man abuse you, let some man treat you like shit, but if you have a good man who's good to you 99% of the time and he comes along and he really cares about something, you should give him that grace and give him that, you know what, he's the man, he said it, boom, done. Because if something happened to you at that concert, if your bag was snatched, if you got fucking robbed, if someone tried to punch you, if someone grabbed you, who would you call?
Okay.
The police.
Help me.
The police.
You call your man.
The police.
You call him.
Senor Andrew, Mr. Tate King, Master Supreme Leader of everything, the universe, the Matrix, all of that. No, I just say this because it keeps him chilled.
Wait,
I've got to make my points the right way. You
You don't think that?
She's playing games, bro.
Wait.
Guys,
Listen.
wait
Playing
one
games.
second, one second.
She's playing games.
Go ahead. You want to say something?
Just doing the most.
Of course, I have to do the most. This is the thing. What you don't understand is that I explained to you that it's very easy to speak to a man like Andrew Tate.
I love
long as
it.
You don't need to step on his toes, and you respect the authority that he has. I'm not gonna sit here and try and fight against a man that has done a lot more in my life, been in rooms that I haven't been in because he's Andrew Tate. I respect you, but I can still put my point across. Okay, my point is. No, but there is a point, of course.
Look, can I
My
just say
point
something?
is,
When you say but after something, you just cancel everything you said before.
However, it's a point, it's an acknowledgement, and then comes the counter argument because I don't have to agree with things to speak. Okay? So my point simply is, fine, I get that. But at the end of the day, the same way that we have evolved now, as a woman I have evolved, I would expect, and what I do want is not equality, is a certain level of respect, which means that if I am also somebody that is quite smart, somebody that can take care of themselves, I've done all of this for about 30 years of my life.
You don't need a man,
can't tell
bro.
me just no.
But
What the condition is, the condition is,
You don't need
instead
a
of
man,
telling
bro.
me no, give me the assurance as to why you said no. Because actually, I am agreeable when you make me feel assured that what you're doing makes me feel safe. Actually, because what women are looking a lot for is stability, and stability comes from knowing that
And
you're
again,
not a man.
and again, what if the answer is just I don't like it? It makes me uncomfortable. I don't feel like it's the right thing to do. What are you gonna say then? That's the point of sometimes. Is it worth that resentment for that 2-hour show? Is it worth that resentment for that, one night out? Is it worth that resentment? No, it's not. If you think it is, then you might as well just end that relationship right there
It
and then.
doesn't,
Blindly. It takes reassurance.
Denalva, it doesn't count if you're only agreeable when you feel like being agreeable.
Can I just say
Like,
something,
that's why I agree.
Denalva?
That's
Can I
why
just
I
say
said
something?
I'm
Yeah,
submissive.
you know what?
Submissive when
no.
you're
You know
only
what?
submissive when you feel like being like when you feel
you know-
like it.
do you
That's
know-
not
Can I just say
submissive.
something,
Out
Denalva?
of respect.
We live in different houses.
Of course.
If I went, he'd never know. Me and my man, because I'm a caregiver. If I went, he would have never known.
Right.
So I still didn't go.
Okay. And?
So what you were saying?
So I'll say to you, okay, babe, you don't want me to go. Why don't you want me to go? Like, what's worrying? What's the matter? Why would you not want me to go?
But why would I want to question him when he's always got my
Well-
best interests at heart?
Well, I want to know. I don't know. What
Exactly. Auntie's so smart. Auntie's so smart because she's got wisdom on her side, man. Why would you want to go when that person has your best interest at heart? Why?
Because my best interest in
Why
what
should
Because you feel like you're going to gain something from that concert that is going to enlighten you to the point of like seeing the light and saying, oh my, I shouldn't be with this person.
you have to explain everything?
Wait,
Because you're not a child. You are
And-
also an adult.
no, and it's not
And
us. It's
treating
not only
a
that-
woman like
Yeah.
she doesn't have her own mind is
If
very
it's-
It is an
disrespectful.
acknowledgement. It's
Like,
acknowledgement.
I'm sorry. Think about it, right? I'm 26, right?
Yeah.
I've lived my life all by myself.
But you still listen to your boss, bruv. You listen to your boss. Just stop playing these games. You listen to your boss. You go to work and your boss says do that. And you don't just say, why do I do it? You don't ask your why should I do that? Why? Why should I do it? You just do it because you know you have to do it. Because it is for your best interest. Because you know if you do that, you get paid. Craziness, buffoonery.
And then I'm in a relationship and this man is telling me I can't go out.
know
Let me
you
give you an
I
With
know
example.
no
you're in a relationship.
reason.
Girls, let me give you an
Does that make sense?
Let me
Can
give-
I do that to a man and just say, I don't want you
If
to go
I
out?
told him, if I told my man, listen, right, you know, you said you're going such and such. Well, you know what? I don't really think you should go. He'll think about it and he'll say, you really don't want me to go? And I'll say, no, he won't go.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
There's no man
Oh,
that's
that's
just gonna
nice.
listen
If we
to a
can do,
woman.
if we can do
That is a
vetoes
lie.
like that,
Let me give you.
Oh
let
my
me-
baby,
gosh.
I can veto. You can.
He
veto.
is.
Let me ask you
He
girls-
is,
let me ask
bro.
you girls a question. The reason she decided not to go is because this is obviously not a regular occurrence, right? So he had a reason and she trusts his judgment. Let me give you girls a scenario. Let's imagine I'm with a chick, whatever. She has a concert. I say, I don't want you to go. And she replies like you, why can't I go? And I say, got a bad feeling. Don't go. Now what?
Now I'll be like,
So would you think the woman should just go, I don't give a shit about your
Now-
stupid feeling and bounce? Or should
No.
she, or
What
should she
is
trust
now-
the
you?
reason?
You see, exactly what I said.
That
I got
doesn't
bad
make
feeling.
sense.
Wait.
Got bad feeling.
This is the thing.
That doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't feel right.
This is the
Have
key.
a bad
What do you
feeling.
say?
Listen, my sister, this is the key. When you say, I don't know, I just got a bad feeling. Let me tell you how that is get translated into my head. He cares about me, and he's actually thinking about something that potentially could be happening that I'm not aware of. I love him for thinking outside the box. But you've reassured me, you've shown me respect for being
Oh,
able to
no,
make
but I
my own
think-
decision,
yeah.
and that's all it takes.
No,
That's
but-
all it goes.
Oh wow, nah, she capped it, bro. Cap, I don't believe it.
Why are you gonna tell me
A
not to
feeling,
believe
a
it.
feeling
Can't
is
just
not
say you have a
logical.
bad
feeling.
feeling.
feeling is
Yeah,
not logical.
bro.
What is
Yeah,
guys,
bullshit.
The whole point is
Baby,
like you're not
paint me a
the
story.
whole point is a guy doesn't want to explain like every decision he makes.
And I don't
want
want
Bullshit.
to
Men-
admit
but
to every decision he
a lot of
makes.
times, like men think things through a lot like more than we realize, and so he's already thought about it. He's already made his decision. It's a headache to him when every time he makes a decision, he has to explain it to you.
That's
But
right.
you
And if you
need to
trust that man,
understand-
if you trust that man and you've been with him as long as Auntie's been with her man, and he says something with the kind of relationship they have and the respect they have for each other, of course she's gonna be like, "Oh right, well cool, done." That's trust, and that's trust. And
I wasn't
that's-
happy.
of course, and also that's a really good point about submission, because submission is largely misunderstood. Like, I can tell you a million stories. I've had girls who are like, "Yeah, you're the man, you're in charge, and yeah, no problem." Da-da. Yeah, she's cool, and she's cool on the jet. She's cool in Dubai. She's cool in the restaurants. She's cool in the 5-star. She's cool in the Lambo. But the second I say something that she half doesn't like, then she's like, "Well, you know what?" Then she's a feminist, right? So women do this very well. A lot of women flip flop. Like if you trust your man and you really want to be with him and you really want to submit to him, there's going to be times you're going to submit in ways you don't like. That's the whole point of it. There's going to be
Do you know
times
what,
you have to do
Tate?
things you don't want to do.
I've actually said
Respectfully,
this in the
depends. Like I
past.
said, it's
I
respect.
respect you in the fact that you're willing to give a woman a life. You're willing to provide for her.
But-
so I respect that you can then tell her, I want you to do this, babe.
But-
and she has to listen.
you're right, but let me
a
make-
lot of women, they want autonomy over themselves.
But
I'm not, personally, personally, I don't want a man that's going to provide for me just so he can tell me to sit down and I'm a dog and I'm going to sit down.
Let's understand
because
something.
I can make my own decisions too.
Extremes,
Let's
bro.
understand something.
Extremes.
Every man will give you a life. It's just a matter of whether you're happy with
Not
the life
every
that
man can afford it, though.
No, exactly. Every man will give you a life. It's just a matter of whether you're happy with the life that man is capable of giving. And this goes back into the earlier points we were saying. You can find a good man who will work his ass off and give you the best life he can possibly give you every ounce of strength inside of him. He'll give you all he has. You can get that. But if you're going to wake up and go, no, I don't want that life, I want that life. Well, then that comes with problems.
Yeah,
and
agree.
this is the cognitive dissonance that most females operate under, where they sit and go, I want that life,
but they don't want that life's
I
problems.
want him to act like that guy. I want the Nissan and the McLaren. You can't have both.
What about
you
a
need
project?
to decide, and there becomes a degree of female maturity.
No,
as you said earlier,
not about a
you get to a point
project.
where you're like, you know what? Maybe all that glitz and
Stop
glam
it.
and bullshit isn't worth it.
It's not worth it.
You grow up, right?
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. And you make a different decision. And I'm saying that a lot of women get to that point. The problem is, in the modern world, the shit women did before they got to that point, from 19 to 24,
It sticks with you.
pisses the man off to the point where he's never going to be as good as he could be. It's different in your world, right? You met a man, you stayed with that man, ding. I know plenty of people, first man, high school sweethearts. The world was different only 40, 50 years ago. The second man, they've been married forever, 50-year marriages. All that shit's gone. And then we have to tie back into all the other sub-points I've made. Into you've had a very fun life at your peak sexual value from 19 to 24 running around doing X, Y, Z. Now you're with this guy who can't give you the life he knows you've already lived. Part of him feels inferior. His status is damaged because all the shit you did is on Instagram and he ain't the one who gave it to you. And now you're expecting a whole bunch of crap out of him. And now when he comes and works his ass off and manages to save up and buy a BMW and picks you up, hey, I got a BMW, you go, yeah, I like Mercedes. And this is the point you're missing. It's not about the fucking car. It's about something larger than that. It's about making him feel like he's a man again and that he's in charge.
A woman shouldn't have to make a man feel like a
You're sitting here
man.
going, I'm an autonomous female. I can fucking like that. But what are you doing? You're damaging the psyche of the man who's trying to love you. Is it worth it for a
But what
fucking
do you
car?
mean by
brand?
loving?
So it gets
Can
to
we
a
break
point-
it down? Tate, can we
Wait,
break it down? Does loving...
You are of low intellect. If you need him to break this down even more, come on. If that doesn't make sense to you, it will never make sense to you, and you just want to not accept it. It is what it is. Buy a dog, die alone. No one cares. Because we need to break it. We don't need to break it down further. You understand the problem put. You understand the solution given. You don't want to accept it. It is what it is, and that's the choice you made. But don't try and break it down further because there's a point of diminishing returns, and we have hit that point. So Niger, stop it. Stop it.
It mean that you listen to what I have to say and also think about
Niger.
what I want and not just what you want.
It's not about
Is that
that.
what loving means? If that's it, I can subscribe to that. But I'm
Okay.
not gonna subscribe to
All right.
sit
Niger.
down and you have to sit down.
It's not
What?
about that. It's
I'm a
about-
grown ass
No
woman.
one
I pay
is
my own
saying
bills.
that.
And you're
No
gonna tell
one
me
is
what
telling
to
you
do?
to
That's
sit
fine.
down, bro.
But it gets to
What are
a
you doing?
point. It gets to a point where you have to sit and analyze the scenario you're in and try and realize and pick your battles. And I'm telling you, you may not realize it, but a man does a whole bunch of shit for you that you don't know. He's watching the shows you want to watch. He's listening to you talk gossip about the girls at work. He's fucking going, yeah, I like that dress, that dress. He doesn't give a fuck about any of it. He's doing it for you.
See, that's the
but the
pretty
second
thing
it's
is,
back the other way, you have
Nah.
some fucking issue with
He's
autonomy.
right.
It's
He's
bullshit.
right.
And that's why he is the trigger don. Because people be going shopping when they don't want to be going shopping. I don't want to see dress number 6. But you're there because you love that person and you want to show them that you love them. So for them not to extend that favor when you get that BMW and their favorite car is a Mercedes. Blasphemy. Blasphemy. Craziness. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. If it's... I wouldn't want.
He's right because
bullshit.
women talk nonsense for a long time. And they say
listen
like,
to
yeah, babe,
nonsense.
you're right. Yeah, babe, I
Facts.
can't believe she did that. It's true, babe. Oh yeah, that show is good. Yeah, babe.
It's finally
it's
sinking
true.
in.
We come and
Finally.
I
support
agree.
Oh.
Men do a lot, but women do
Of
a lot
course.
too. As much as if my man caters to me, I
Come
will
on.
do anything to make him
Come
happy.
on, bro. Come on.
If he says, "Oh, babe, I like this meal," I will make sure I can cook it for him because guess what? He actually cares about what I want as well. You can't just have a one-way
It's not one
relationship.
way. I'm just
No
saying,
one said that.
I'm
Give
just
it different
commenting.
ways.
I'm just saying, if I was a woman and I had to make a man as attracted to me as possible, my goal would be to give that man status and make him feel good about himself. And I would be very, very careful talking too much about life experiences or opposing views, not because he's out to oppress me, not because he's an evil, horrible person, but because he's trying to find somebody with a similar life view. He's trying to find somebody he can show the world to, trying to find somebody he can feel like he can teach things to. That's how you get the best out of a man. I'll tell you how you get the best out of a man.
That's why I got Clementine.
No, but if you go into a man's room when he's playing video games, and he's playing video games, and you say, all you do is play video games, and you nag him, he'll play video games. If you walk in there and go, you know what, you're so smart. I've seen you do so many amazing things, and you said so many amazing things. Why do you waste your time playing video games? You could show me so much. Now you're going to get him off the fucking console.
Yeah.
But it's I know it's an ego play. I know your old girls are like, why should I have to do that? Da-da. There's a lot of things
Because it tells you look pretty in the morning.
It's because you win. It's because in the end you win. You talk about why should I have to do that? Well, why should you have to work hard in the gym to get six-pack? Because you win. That's the game. It's actually, men are so simple. We are so simple, and the truth is, women know it. This is what's amazing. Women pretend they're confused. You're not confused. You know. You're just egos are in the way, and society's telling you something else, and you just fucking refuse to be agreeable, nice people.
So, no,
and then
it's
you
true.
wonder, and then
It's
you wonder
true.
why men have this fucking problem marrying you.
It doesn't.
I think agreeable
guys,
sounds like a
I have a
slave.
question.
No,
I have a
agreeable is
guys,
being
wait,
nice.
So I have a question for the girls. So imagine you're dating a guy, okay, and it's your birthday, and for your birthday he gets you, let's say, a $500 gift, okay, and you're happy, right? It's thoughtful, it's specific to you. Then you found out last year he got his ex-girlfriend an entire birthday party. How does that make you feel? He did the most. He rented out the nicest hotel in London. He got her everything she wanted the year before.
Me not care.
You don't
As long
care
as I have
at
a
all?
I
birthday.
don't really care. As long as he's.
It's a cap. That's cap. That's cap. That is the biggest amount of bullshit I've heard in my life. That is cap. I mean, I don't care. You care. You would think about it. It would eat you up. Like, why were you able to do so much for this person and not to do the same for me? Because I'm here. Like, what am I to you if you left this person and did this much for them? And you say or you claim you didn't care for them as much as you care for me, and yet I get this and they got that. Doesn't make any sense. 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It's a red flag. It should be a red flag.
You
We're
don't
different. We're different people too.
Yeah.
It's a different relationship, and maybe like, you know,
This
he
is
bought
cope.
her flowers
This
every
is hard
day,
cope.
365 days a year, and he didn't do that for me. It's like, well, if
Hard
that's what
cope.
makes her happy, he's gonna do what makes her happy.
Exactly.
I mean, I get the angle. What you're saying is like, oh, she did, you know, he did all that for her. Why am I not good enough? But the second you compare
That's what
yourself, you
happened.
lose.
But then you would still do it. You would still do it.
But I'm
You
just
still
saying
do
that's
it.
how men look at like your past is like basically like you've given it for free. Where
So here's my question to that, because all right, I love like everything we're talking about. Okay, so to all of the viewers out there, including myself, right? You live life. There's gray area. You live and you fucking learn, right? So where the fuck do we go from here? So do I play the shame game where everybody walks away a fucking loser? Because I can do that. I've beat myself up my entire life for every decision I've ever made, right? It got me nowhere.
No.
You
So
just
I value
stop
myself.
talking
I
about
see
it.
the world differently
Yeah.
through a series of events, right? So what the fuck comes next? Because that's where I'm confused, right? Because I'm not. It's like if you don't, if it's not like gifted to you, like even in your situation, like your dad provided you a life that like so many people would kill for, like you know what I mean? So that's why it's like. It sucks because the reason I hate these conversations is because it's never about like empathy. Do I understand the scales and how someone may view you for this, that, and the third? Okay, but moving forward, then what? So okay, so I'm just gonna, like I said, make it about myself. I'm 30, single, mom. My fucking checkered.
You are finished. No. But it's understanding your position and the value you hold and how you can use what you have now to make the best possible play for your future. So you have to understand where you are for you to see where you're going. If you don't even know where you are, you can't know where you can go from there because you have to understand your position. Once you know your position, you can make a play and we can make the best play possible. Same with chess. If you can't visualize the board and where you are on the board, then you're not making any active movements to actually make any forward progress. You could just be floundering about,
Your
blundering.
past is all over Instagram. You know what I mean? I have people like you who are, she's a hoe, she's this, she's literally known for this. Okay. So what would be your advice to people like me then?
But I don't believe in
What-
grey area. I believe black and white. So
Okay,
I'm
well,
just
that's
different.
unfortunate because
know what
there's
Yeah.
gray.
I
You
don't
know
believe
what?
in
I'll
grey
tell you
area.
what.
There's gray.
think-
There's gray in life.
Do you know what
to
people-
answer? Wait,
go
I'm
on.
gonna answer.
Let her
Faster.
answer
I mean,
first.
I just think there's consequences for your decisions, and I just think like my best advice would be to like lower your standards, like that, because I just think there's going to be consequences for putting promiscuous stuff on the internet,
Okay.
and you probably won't get the type of guy that you could have got at 22. and
Do you know what,
21.
sister? I'll
It wasn't
tell
meant
you.
to be then.
Do you know what I'll tell you? I would say, because I'm 30 and I'm single out of a situation that actually is not because I was a hoe and I was doing whatever. People can't call me that. I made a bad decision to be with somebody that hurt me a lot, and I stayed for 5 years. I came out super late. And do you know what I realized? What I learned is that I know now that I have to be selective and I have to think. If me taking longer to get to that stage is what it takes, then that's what it takes. You accept your future, you accept everything with gratitude, because as long as you're breathing, that's the most important thing. At least you've got your child. I am not afraid because I know the quality of woman that I am. I know my value regardless of whether I'm 30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you don't be afraid by other people's time limits and limitations and all of these things, because it actually doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why.
No, but your value goes down as you get
No,
older.
that's according to you.
No, but I'm saying to
Your
men-
sexual value, not your human value. Human value remains consistent, but your sexual marketplace value.
And you have to understand
I'll tell
your
you why.
buyer.
I'll tell you why. Because since Mr. Andrew Tate
It's
explained
delusion.
something about status, I understand very well what that actually means. And as a woman, the quality and the value that I hold for myself is actually the kind of value and quality that a man will appreciate the status it will bring to him, whether or not I'm a virgin. Because I've worked on myself to be a woman of quality and substance. I respect myself and I handle myself as such. Okay? And that is the way that you're going to actually overcome all of these bad mistakes that you've made. Because who you are right now actually will make a difference if you stick to it and if you mean it and if you've always been that way. There's always another story for everybody. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine.
Do you know what I would-
Just got somebody that's more emotional.
What?
mature.
Do you know what I would have said to you?
What
I
is
would
what
have
are you about to say, Andrew? Because you just started speaking out.
I was
wanna
going to say.
Andrew, she
I
said.
said Andrew.
Oh,
I want to
sorry.
hear. I really because you've been through a lot in your life. I like when she told me that you were going to be on and we were going to be on this panel together. I started watching a bunch of your videos, and it really was like there's so much that you have been through, which is why you have a well of wisdom, right? And the difference between me and you is that you're glorified for it, and I am burned at the stake for everything that I've been through. And it's so funny because people have always said that we were two sides of the same coin as far as like, well, if Andrew Tate gets banned, Brittany Renner should get banned because we are all about accountability and fucking truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I'm seen as used goods. You're seen as a high value man.
Yeah.
So if you're me, then what? What's next?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's interesting you make that observation, and you are correct. That's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. It's unfair, I guess. The world's not fair, but that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. Men are respected for going through things and surviving, and women are the complete opposite. They're shamed for going through things and surviving. If you look at women love scars on men for a reason. He's gone through something.
They're
lived.
war wounds.
Yeah, they're war. Men don't want a chick covered in scars. I'll say this right now, that a woman, the more trauma she goes through, the more masculine she naturally becomes. And if you were to give me my ideal woman, I would not want of wanted her to have a hard life and a bunch of trauma. I like the idea of her having a soft feminine life and being a soft person, and I can take care of her and protect her. Whereas as a man, to be a good man, you need to have been through a bunch of trauma, because if you haven't been through trauma as a man, you're a weakling. You have to have been through a bunch of shit. So the masculine and the feminine is a very interesting point there. As for, I don't know your history, I don't know the past, but we can just talk in generalizations in regards
People
to
like me, I guess, under the same umbrella. It doesn't have to be personal.
I don't know any of it, but we'll give generalizations. One of the main reasons that men are scared of a female with history is because it makes the man insecure. And scared dogs bite. So this is why men will snap or get angry quick, or they'll bring up your if you get in an argument with him, he'll bring up your history, whatever. But a lot of it is insecurity, and it's not insecurity because the man is insecure. The female paradigm in society convinces men, any man who says anything, you're insecure. It's not insecure in that way. It's insecure in a very realistic, logical way. Like I was saying earlier, she's had a lot of life experience. Let's be honest. Am I the richest guy she's ever had? No. Am I the most famous guy she's ever had? No. Am I the best looking guy she's ever had? No. Like, what's keeping her here? And then part of it comes down to, well, am I second place? If she could do better, would she do better? Like, there's a whole bunch of insecurity involved. And that's where tiny things, like I'm talking, I know it sounds like dumb shit, tiny things about the favorite car brand become more important than ever, right? It's your job as a woman, regardless of how much sexual history you've had or what guy you're with, etc. It's your job as a woman to make your man feel secure in the fact and make him feel like a man, like Auntie was saying, make him feel like the man no matter what he does, so that he feels like you really, truly believe he's the best choice for you on the planet. That's your job to do. Now, if you've had a checkered past, that's perhaps more difficult. You need to be more tactful with it, more tactical about it. But you have to achieve the same result. You have to do the exact same thing, right? So, yeah, it's easy for me if I get a 21-year-old virgin from some village in Slovakia and I'm multi-millionaire Andrew Tate. Of course, it's a very easy. She's never had better. She'll never get better. She's never been anywhere. Boom, boom, easy one, right? But like you said, the world's not so idealistic. The reality is that people have had relationships, et cetera, et cetera. But a man is happiest in the relationship when he feels like man of the house and when he truly feels like you believe he's the best man that you could possibly ever get and have ever gotten. Because a man is jealous. I'll tell you something. I used to say this to girls as like a joke. And I used to say, truth and jest. I used to say, no, I say it's a joke. I say, you cheated on me before I met you. And she'd be like, what do you mean? I didn't even know you. It's like, yeah, you fucked that guy before I even knew you. You cheated on me. And they used to laugh, whatever. But that's how men think. That's the male mind. Like, I love you. And you've been fucked by who? But I didn't know you. I don't care if you knew me. You should have waited. What do you mean you didn't? But that's the male mind. So he is in competition with all of your exes and all of your lifestyle and all the things you've done permanently. And it's down to you as a woman to sit there and go, how do I make him secure in himself and secure in his masculinity and make him believe that investing in me is still worthwhile because I still truly value him, despite the fact that I could do X, Y, Z. I hope that gives some clarity, but that's the answer.
So how do you know what I would have said? I would have said, oh, for anybody in that situation, come off social media and just raise your child. So the person who meets you's got nothing to. Like, I never knew you. I never knew who you were because I've never heard of you before. So when I spoke to you, but the way the way you're saying like what's on the internet. Let me just say, you're a nicer person than what you sound like what you perceive to be. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, oh, that Pearl's got, oh, there she's a whore, and I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about you. And I was saying that if you didn't have nothing on social media about your checkered past, and you met somebody the same way how I met you and I conversed and I got to know you, is the same way that they would.
Yeah, and it is interesting, and it's also back to the masculine and feminine, right? Because I'm all over the internet, and supposedly I'm misogynist and I'm evil and all this crap, right? But if I meet a girl, even if she disagrees with me, in fact, I'll say this, I've never, ever met a single female who's ever come up to me and disagreed with me. Every woman comes up to me and loves what I said. But let's imagine I met this imaginary girl, she was sitting with me. And if I were to have a 10-minute conversation with her, by the time I explained the level to which they tried to destroy me, how they tried to freeze all my bank accounts, raise illegal charges against me, put me in jail for things I didn't do, put a travel ban, take my passport, all this garbage. By the time I explain how hard they tried to hurt me and failed, she'll want me. Because she'll be like, you can't kill this guy. And that's going to be it. Like, you say a bunch of shit I don't like, but you know what? You're the man. So it is about experience, and it is different. And that's a really good point about social media. Social media amplifies all of this shit. It amplifies all these problems. Everything we're discussing, everything we've discussed back to the beginning, from status to promiscuity to your past, it's all social media. Without social media, a lot of it goes away.
Yeah. And I think that's why me and my man last so long, is that he doesn't do social media and there's nothing on there about me.
I feel like to answer your question too, because I have had people say that as a solution, and it's like, you can run but you cannot hide from the truth. And I have shared why my voice has been so impactful and will continue to be impactful is because I have put myself out there and I have been punished for being honest. So it's like I have been given a platform and a voice for a reason. Even sitting down in this conversation thinking there's not one person I'm probably going to agree with and probably going to want to leave, I have been called here for a reason. So it's like I can't go against what is in my heart and what I am coded to be. And that's why I feel like it's important for me to sit here and represent people who feel like me, because it's like I don't want to say I didn't choose. I don't even want to say that. I just feel like I don't see a lot of women under my umbrella who feel the way that I feel. I don't see opinions shared that would be worded the way that I feel. Nothing. I feel like a lot of my thoughts are very unique, and it's kind of scary because I have been through different things. I see the world in a different place, and when I even speak online, people think I'm fucking speaking Swahili.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and I know exactly what you're saying, and you're making good points. And it's just, I think that regardless of whether, like, we're talking about different positions. I compare everything to chess. I know it's annoying. We're looking at different positions on the chessboard, but the rules are still the same, right?
Okay.
No matter how bad your position is or how good your position is, you're still trying to achieve the same objectives. And you want the man to get high status, and you want the man to feel secure in himself. And I think it's very difficult. I can only talk from the male perspective because I am a man. It is very difficult. If I were to meet a woman who I liked very much, but she had X whatever, past whatever. My concerns would be, how do I know that I'm still the number one? How do I know I'm most important in her life, especially if I don't measure up in certain key metrics? And two, the second thing that's most scary for men is we understand that men are constantly after what we have. Like, your inboxes are all full. Like, they may not be with guys you want to reply to, but guys are still trying to get it. That's the male life. The male life is people are trying to take everything from me. And that's very scary, and you have to make your man really believe like that's impossible. If a man truly believes that nobody can take you from him, he's going to love you in a different way. You can give me 2 carbon copies of the same chick, but one I think might cheat in the right circumstances, and one I know no matter what would never leave me. The love I'll feel for this one is a different planet to the love I feel for this one, even though they're the same person, right? Because that's every man's biggest fear, is a woman cheating or leaving. Because there's something visceral and something different about it. I know I talk things and I say men can do things and women can't and all this stuff. But like, if a woman cheats on a man, that hurts the man at a level that it doesn't hurt the woman if the man cheats on her. It's different. It's different biologically. It's different evolutionarily. Like, that's what men used to fight and die over. You talk to my chick. You look at my chick. His
dick off.
Yeah, it's like you demasculinize him on every level. Like, and this is why you see these TikToks, right? You see these TikToks. Me and my man went on a break, got back together. He fucked 20 girls, and now he's crying because I went on a date. Yes, completely yes. Because the damage level is different. It's just a different thing. So you have to understand the paradigms. You have to understand to play the game, and that's how you make men happy. And I know very well how. I like to believe that I would know very well how to make a woman happy. And I know, and whether I do that or not is a conscious decision. And that's where you get to a certain level of grandmastery, where if I get a woman, I will literally decide out of 10, how happy do I want her? Does she deserve to be happy 10? Or should I keep her like crying half the time? That it's very conscious. And women don't think that way. But I'm saying, if you're a cunning woman, you could be like that. You could be a bit more like, you know what? I want him infatuated with me. This guy ain't worth the time. That guy I want. And then when you're going to do that, just like the game of chess, if you play chess, it's not big moves that make you lose. It's small positional plays. It's that time you argued about your favorite car. It's the time you disagreed with him about the favorite band. It's the dumb shit that adds up. Whereas really, truthfully, if you're truly smart about the game, you can get him to a point after a few months where he's like, she's my soulmate. She loves everything I love. We think the same. Our hearts are connected. Boom. And then you're safe. Just don't fuck it up from there. That's the game.
But I just feel like it's so contradicting to feel like what your overall message is, which is about truth. So it's like, if my truth, like, if it can be destroyed by the truth, it should be destroyed by the truth. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, like, why. It's really mind-boggling to me, because I feel like, how could you even be mentally, emotionally, sexually stimulated by a woman who is just agreeable, and it doesn't have her own mind. I just don't see that.
That is exactly what every man wants. We don't want you to be complete robots. We're not saying we can't have a joke with you. We can't say we can't have a laugh with you. We're not saying you can't have a personality. But when it comes to things like agreement, there is not a single man in the world who's going to say, she's too agreeable. She just agrees with me on it. She agrees with me on all the important things in my life. She's too agreeable. I want someone else. Fuck no. You're completely and utterly wrong on that point. It's a huge point. This idea that, I understand if you're a complete doormat and you set no standards, men might walk all over you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about agreeability and agreeableness as a whole. Men love the idea of an agreeable woman because it gives status, and it makes the man feel like he's a teacher, and it makes the man feel in charge, and it satisfies his ego. And to you, they may be small, little, tiny points, but to him, they're a big deal. If I were to sit, I'm telling you right now, if I were to sit with one of my chicks or whatever, or my chick, and I'll just sit in the Lambo and say, Lambo's the best car of all of them. I prefer the Lambo. And she goes, I don't like that one. Da, da, da. I'm like, listen, I bought them all, and I fucking said this is the best one. Shut up. And it would annoy me because that's my reality. I want her to become part of my reality. It's the thing. And you talk about truth. It's interesting because the truth of your heart and the truth of your soul is to be happy. That's truth. Truth is for you to end up happy. Now, if you have to sit there and agree on a, especially on a subject you don't give a fuck about, right? If it's something you care about and you are very knowledgeable about, if it's ancient Roman history and you have a degree in ancient Rome, then fine, argue the point. But if it's cars or something you don't even give a shit about,
Make it easy.
Yeah, you're missing the chance to get points on the scoreboard, an easy free throw, and you're just fucking it up, going, no. Why? What?
Nah,
The
true.
truth is just play the game and win. That's the truth.
Andrew could be the best female dating.
Or just learn a couple of words like how many talks, horsepower.
Yeah,
just
just
throw
play-
some words in like how much
With all due
horsepower is it?
respect,
He actually could. I know I've been quiet for the longest, man. This has been so riveting. This whole conversation line has been so riveting, man. The gems dropped. My guy has been speaking the truth, man. If you feed the guy's ego, you will win. And it's not even about the big points. Like, if you really feel about something, you can argue that point. But don't miss the opportunity, as he said, to win on the smallest points ever. Like, if you don't care about no anime and you feel like, I could burn 20 minutes today and watch anime with him, fuck it, I'll do it. You can do it and gain some brownie points. Pretend you're interested in the same thing he's interested in. You can gain some brownie points. It's crazy.
Not
But
all men are
it's
like
the
that.
truth.
Some men respect a woman that has her own mind. I know you and the type of men that you're speaking on behalf
They're just
of,
chatting. They're
like
just
a
chatting.
woman
They're
that
chatting.
I understand.
will just
They're
be
chatting to
so
get sex.
agreeable to everything you say.
They're chatting to get
Like,
sex.
I've dated men that just respect that I can
They are chatting shit to get sex.
make decisions.
Let
I
me-
will actually ask
Submissive
for
women
my
have their own
input.
mind.
You were duped. You were fooled. They were chatting shit to get sex.
Yeah, completely. That's the first
There's
point.
sometimes that he might be discussing stuff that he might want to be discussed, and
Completely.
there's sometimes we're like, shut the fuck up and let me say what I've got to say.
Yes,
And
completely.
maybe I don't even believe in star signs, but my man's a Sagittarius, so all this illogical
we're
stuff
the
and
best.
feelings and emotions, and no, you don't cry about shit. Shut
That's
up,
it.
get on with it. Your head's big. Get on with it.
Completely. And submissive women have their own mind, but this is something else you have to take into consideration. And this is super important, super true. The reason a lot of women don't truly understand a lot of things about relationships and
'Cause men
how
lie.
it works with men, etc., is because men will lie to you.
To get sex.
Men lie for the same reason you wear makeup, because men fall in love with what they see. Men fall in love with what they see, and women fall in love with what they hear. So we will lie to you. So you'll go on a date with a guy, and you'll sit there and say, I don't listen, and I'm independent, da-da-da. And what's that man going to say?
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
That's exactly the kind of woman I want. Come suck this. It's a fucking lie. That is not what he wants.
Facts.
It's not what he wants. I'm telling you the truth of what
Big facts.
yeah, he can't be bothered to argue with you at dinner because he doesn't. And you know what? Most men aren't smooth enough to do it. I can sit with a chick and disagree with her and be funny enough and smart enough and charismatic enough and I'm high status enough and she
Facts. And that's the thing. Like, he doesn't want to fumble the opportunity that he knows that if I agree on this point that it might be very contentious, that I might lose this completely. So he might just agree for the mere fact that he knows if he plays it right and you are as modern as you say you are, that you are willing to give up the goods at the end of the night. And he will do what is necessary to get to that point. Fuck his morals, fuck his beliefs, fuck his values. He would do what is necessary. And then maybe if you stick around long enough, you find out who he truly is and you be like, you're not the guy I thought you were. And it's like, well, fuck it, I got the sex.
respects me enough to listen. But if I'm just some normal dude and I start arguing with a chick, she's going to bounce on the dinner and say, fuck you.
Facts.
Yeah.
See ya.
Facts.
So most dudes' dating strategy, most dudes' mating strategy is just pure agreement. Yeah. Anything to get the puss because they're fucking. That's fine. That's the truth, right?
I
Real
said
deals say,
anything
"What
to
do you mean? I don't
get
wanna hear
the
this shit."
puss.
I'm telling you the baseline of how
Yo,
men
that's
truly
really
function.
bad.
If I'm expected to fight and die to protect you, because that's what is expected of me by society and of you. You may think you don't expect that of me, but if we're walking down through London in the middle of the night and two guys come up with machetes, you're going to hide behind me, knowing I'm going to die because I can't win this fight. I'm expected to die to protect you. Well, then I expect you to agree with me. I'm not here to fucking die for somebody who disagrees with me on everything. That's not what I'm here to fucking. If I have that obligation to die on the spot for you, you have the obligation to pretend you like BMWs. So do your fucking part and shut up. And that's the bottom line of it.
And you know the difference is the only difference, like he's top G, and I was like, the only difference between him and my man and the level of respect is money. That's the only difference.
And this is
the same way he talks, the same way he is.
I don't listen to my
but
man.
people
Of course
say like,
I listen to
oh,
my man.
only owns 40,000, so he can't talk to me the way Andrew Tate talks to his. Why not?
Completely.
No, I think money is a big factor though, because
no, it's not. In a beautiful
No.
you can't have a
No.
woman
It's
that's
not.
paying her own bills. She's doing everything for herself.
I mean, she's a man.
And then you're gonna tell her,
Of course, but I'm saying.
do this. But you're different. in the
Do you
fact
not
that
work, Auntie
She
Jenny?
doesn't need to work. You take all that stress away from her.
I don't work.
Then she'll be a lot
That's
more
great.
stable.
Why does
I don't
money?
work.
Wait, why does money have to matter for submission?
That's what I mean. I don't
because
work.
if you have enough money to make sure that she doesn't need to work, go and deal with her boss every day,
I don't
deal with all
work.
this stress, all these bills. Of course
Auntie's like, I don't work. What are you
she'll
talking
come
about?
to you and be like,
But
oh,
this-
okay, he pays my bills. You know
My
what?
man must own
This-
about 40,000.
Like,
I don't work.
I'm like, you know what? I just never. I grew up in a 1% family. I never expected a dude to pay for everything. I don't know.
I don't.
And I still think like, and I just
don't
like
expect a man to pay
both
for
of my
life.
parents worked, but my mom still submitted to my dad. Like it wasn't.
The point is this: in every relationship that's beautiful, every relationship that's happy, regardless of the socioeconomic scale, regardless of how rich or poor they are, regardless of how famous they are, regardless of how whatever, in every relationship where people are truly happy, pay attention. The man is in charge. He's the top G of that house. His woman makes him feel that way. She respects him for what he does, and they are happy. We're talking about me out here in the world, social media, whatever. It doesn't matter. Every man wants to be the man of his household, the king of his castle. Every single happy relationship is the same. I genuinely implore you to name a happy relationship where the woman's in charge. Name one. You can't. They end up broken up. She leaves him. Whatever. Name a happy relationship where the woman doesn't blindly say, okay, I won't go to that concert. Name one. There is only one framework in which people are happy. With the man in charge, the woman trusts and respects him enough to let him be in charge, and they're a happy couple in relationship. Any other type of relationship is a time bomb to the end. So if you want a happy relationship, that's what you should be aiming for. You need to be perspicacious enough and think about these things and sit and go, well, that's the only way relationships work. So I need to build it that way.
I think it needs
instead
to
of
be
coming along and believing you're going to reinvent the wheel.
Okay, so I want to guys.
think
there should
be a
Wait.
partnership?
I want to hit one more topic because we're running out of time.
She said partnership. It is a partnership, but in a way that is not the same as you would understand it. It is a partnership, but at the end of the day, there is still leadership. At the end of the day, there's still the final decision maker. At the end of the day, there's still a CEO. At the end of the day, there's still a president. It is a partnership in working together to achieve common goals, but when the push comes to shove, we understand where the ball rolls.
So I want to actually give the ladies a chance to say, what do you guys disagree with from the red pill and men-centric content?
Can I go first?
No.
I'm submissive though.
Gotcha.
No, Brittany can go first. 'Cause
I'm not really familiar with all of the topics. I'm assuming like the stuff that you guys talk about
Yeah.
are considered the red pill. It's not even like about like disagreeing. I think I can respect someone's point of view and understand where that truth exists for a lot of people. And I just feel like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know. I don't really disagree. It's just a perspective on life. I'm not here to be like, you're wrong for thinking like that. You're wrong for categorizing, using this scale, using that. Like, it's a perspective. It's valid. And I totally see certain angles. Like, there's a lot of stuff that was said that, I mean, there's so many people on this panel, it's hard to talk. But it's like, there's a lot of things I said, okay, maybe I don't agree with. Just because, again, my walk of life and what I've seen and how I feel and how I choose to be empathetic towards people, regardless of whatever they've been through. But I don't really...
so it's more, for you, it's the lack of empathy sometimes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's probably it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Esther go.
You're punishing me, yeah? No worries, but we'll talk.
See, what I don't really agree with is the insult culture of men feeling like they're entitled to a woman. a lot of men don't look good. They don't got money. They don't do anything for themselves. And they expect women to want to have sex with them, women to want to be with them. Why should she want to be with
but
you?
let me ask you a very important.
Why?
Let me ask you a very important question. Those delusional men, do they sleep with women?
Of course not.
Okay,
But they get angry. You see them in Pearl's comments. Oh, she's a modern woman. It's like, no, she doesn't want you because you are a lowlife. Get over it. Go and work. Go to the gym. Go and work on yourself. Go out and get a job. Go and get some money.
The red pill says
They just cry about it.
That's what most of the men-centric content tells guys to do. Go to the gym, get your money up, like that sort of thing. Learn game.
No, but that's not what they're doing. What they're doing is saying, oh, women are delusional. Oh, women want this.
Why
women know what they want. If you want those women, go and do what they want.
The nails are throwing
and
me
then you'll
off.
be chosen.
You don't have to worry about the men that aren't getting laid and all the women are ignoring. Okay, yeah, YouTube comments, but besides YouTube comments, they have no voice in society and they don't exist and nobody gives a shit, right? So this is what I was saying earlier about reality slaps men in the face and shows them their place very quickly because all these men, reality is showing them their place. There are women who are disagreeable and unlikable and doing wrong things and acting badly and fucking up how to make a man attracted to them. And they're not being slapped in the face by reality because they're still ending up with a partner. So this is the point we're trying to make here. I agree. I know what you're saying about red pill. There's a whole bunch of bitter, hate-filled guys. I agree with that.
Yes. Can I just drop another comment? When I came on your show, they were in my DMs. I'm thinking, do you not have things to do with your life? Like the fact that you sit on Pearl's little comments and then come into my social media and then slide in my DMs. Like you really have nothing to do with your life.
Were they hitting on you, or were they like?
Oh no, they were
insulting you?
calling me a misandrist.
Some girls get hit on even after they insult.
Oh no, they were calling me a misandrist because of the fact that we just don't want you. Like get over it.
Well, that's just the internet though. Like I get death threats. I get like people insult me.
Yeah, but
people make videos like
it's just.
I just think like you go on the internet, duh. Like, yeah, you're gonna get insulted on the internet.
Who hasn't been?
But it's obviously it's quite hard, especially when you're receiving a lot of hate from all these men.
I mean, I get it. I've had
hundreds. You get in comments of people you probably would never meet in your life. Let's leave it, bruv. Leave it. It's long.
Wait, she's a Pisces. She's a Pisces.
Pearl, you called somebody a whale. That is a big
okay,
insult.
one. I called her a whale after she attacked me. After she attacked me, she knocks the mic out of my hand. She called me a slag. I didn't know what that meant at the time. Okay, I had no idea what that meant. She called me a slag, put the mic out of my hand. So of course I'm gonna call her a whale. You attacked me first. That's what they never talk about. You got called a whale because you attacked me.
I missed a good episode. It sounds like.
No, it was a
street interview. And this girl, she like knocks the mic out of my hand, and they're pulling her back. You slag, and I was like, you're effing whale.
Drunken females.
But it was like that was a response. I've never called someone on my show a whale individually.
But when I came on your show, you were quite rude to me. I'm not gonna lie. No, I'm not gonna lie. The way you conduct your show today was great. Today was great. But when I was on your show last time, you were like, "Why you talk too much?" I'm thinking, who is this woman talking to me like that? I'm not a child. But that's the thing.
Because you kept interrupting everybody the whole show.
No,
that's what happened.
No,
you kept interrupting.
No, yes, accept responsibility. She interrupts because she's the host. This is her show. She interrupts because she's the host. You are a guest. You abide by the host's rules. If the host is speaking, for whatever reason, if they're cutting you off, you shut up, you listen to it, and then say, "Can I please continue?" That's etiquette. They're hosting you, giving you a platform to grow your whatever you want to grow. So respect that, naturally. Why would you go into someone else's house expecting them? Anyway.
Because I'm the host.
She says Niger. She's not Niger. She speaks too much. Westernized.
Yeah,
and so today it's like we have a big guest. I'm gonna let him talk. But and no offense, you're just a normal guest. And normal guests, we don't let dominate the entire conversation.
I wasn't dominating the conversation.
You probably talked 70% of the time. And so I have to interrupt you and stop you because you're talking and nobody else in the room had a chance. And nobody else in the room had a chance to talk. I understand I interrupt people, but that's part of your job as a host is to control the conversation. And if anything, I probably control the conversation less than I should compared to most hosts.
No, but I think it's the way that you were rude. You could just be
it doesn't matter, bro. You're whining about semantics, bro. Except you fucked it.
You were like, why are you talking?
Move forward.
That is so rude.
Because we had tried multiple times to tell you nicely. multiple times to tell you nicely, and it just it just kept escalating.
That is not true.
And you wouldn't-
I think
you wouldn't-
you're trying to gaslight me right now because
Okay,
that's not
okay,
true.
okay.
The thing is, you didn't agree with what I was saying, and then you and Auntie resulted to insults.
It
And
wasn't
that's
an insult.
that's
It
the
wasn't.
reason. But that's the reason I would
Auntie
say.
was-
I'm not
Auntie,
coming
be
for you
nice.
right now because you know what? It's your show. But what I'm
You
trying
are
to say
coming
is,
for us.
But
You
what
are
I'm
coming for us. You
No,
just open your mouth. You
no,
are coming
listen,
for us.
listen. What I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is,
how was I rude to
can
you?
I?
No, how was I rude to you? Why you call my name into it? How was I rude to you?
But you were rude.
How was I
Okay.
rude?
You
Okay,
were rude.
This is
She
my
just
point.
how, bro? How? Explain the how. Don't just say you are. I'm not a child. You're acting like a child right now. Explain in pure English.
You told a story where you said in other you didn't say
You're
your
too nice about it, Pearl. You're saying it too nice. Listen,
Okay,
right? You
I'm
come on the
still
show.
waiting to give
You
my
come on the
answer.
show, right? I don't care right now because
Auntie,
you come
we're
on
not
the show.
on the streets. Can you
come
calm
on
down?
Here. You come on
You
here.
sound like a hooligan.
I am-
Please just
Listen,
slow
right,
down.
If I sound like a
Calm
hooligan,
down.
don't tell me about calm down,
Because
right?
you're shouting at me.
isn't it
Why are
funny,
you
right?
shouting at
Hang on,
me?
hang on.
Bro, Niger girl, no respect for her elders, bro. This is how you know she was not raised in no African type of way. The fact that you be on a platform like this, big-headed, speaking to your elders like this, with that kind of level. Why are you shy? Why you let your elders speak? Let them have it out and then speak after, man. Who do you think you are, bro? It doesn't make any sense, man. She claims traditional. No traditional, because you not be speaking like this to your elders if you're traditional. It makes no sense. It's cap. Africa, you have failed her because she clearly didn't learn that in from the motherland. This is madness.
On. I heard Mr. Tate talking, right, with passion, right, and loud. I had no way to tell him to calm down, right? You're there shouting off your mouth, right? I am
The
being loud.
sexism.
I am
Oh,
being
yeah.
loud. Don't tell me about calm
Bruh, yeah.
down.
Oh,
Because when he
Lord,
was
yo.
talking, who
Niger.
is he talking at? Listen, right, as far as I'm concerned, don't even think about coming on Pearl's show and disrespecting her. You've done it already, and now you're coming back here to do it again. Pearl wasn't rude to you.
She was rude
right?
to me.
Pearl wasn't rude to you.
Yes,
you know
she
what?
was.
Because we spoke the truth,
Auntie,
not
stop
your
shouting.
truth,
This
not
is
your truth.
unnecessary.
Because at the end of the day, it's all out there. If you don't know what a woman
Auntie,
is,
why-
and you can't say what a woman is,
Do you know
of course I'm
you're
gonna say
actually a
dis-
bully?
of course
You're
I'm
actually a
gonna
bully.
say-
Bro, just take the L and keep it moving.
Because
Just
why-
keep quiet.
I'm like
You
3
come
times
on
less
here.
your age and you're
Okay,
screaming at me.
guys.
Because she's your elder, bro. You act like your parents don't scream at you, bro. Come on.
Guys,
Guys,
calm
guys,
Till you act
down.
stupid.
You can't do that.
What's this?
Guys, this is a podcast. Have some manners, Auntie. Like, what? I don't understand this.
Stop.
Respect your elders. That's all I'm going to say, bro. No matter what they're saying, let them speak their piece and then bow out after. Or just keep quiet.
Stop.
Yeah, please.
All right,
Manners.
guys, let's take a second to hear from our channel sponsor. Identity
again.
theft can be a nightmare situation if it ever.
Quite polite, but that's just my opinion. You think I was rude? Okay.
I was just trying to explain why the women
Okay.
came for
Bro.
That's
To
all I was saying.
To be fair,
That
then
was
you
it.
called me racist and sexist
I
on
said
another
no.
Okay,
I said your followers were racist
Uh-huh.
because they call me a degenerate
Okay.
Nigerian
Okay.
woman.
Okay.
Did they not?
Okay.
Did they
You're not
not?
representing Niger very well, I'm not going to lie. You're not representing Niger very well.
Okay.
It's
so
not
you're
coming off
disagreeing-
good. You're not representing the African values very well right now. It's not coming off good. You're out here being too loud, too flamboyant. Auntie is earned that with grace and age, because she's out here spitting facts. I don't know. She's just out here floundering.
Okay.
And
Your
they spell
disagreement.
my
Let's
name
go
as
back.
well.
Let's go back to the topic. Your disagreement with the red pill.
They're rude.
Oh, so the incel culture.
incel. You don't like the-
entitled.
Okay.
When women say what they want,
She's
they
loving
feel
it.
so entitled that women need to change that. It's like, no, women like what they like. Just like a man likes a woman that looks good, a woman that cooks, a woman that's younger. Like he said, someone that's not been traumatized, that's not been through so much experience. Like, we don't cry about it, you know?
Yes, we do.
Do you know
Yes,
what?
we
Do you know what women do
Yes,
now?
yes. Wait. I need to stop you there. Yes, we do. What is body positivity? What is slut shaming? We do cry about it, and we cry about it loud on every social media platform. We do.
Yeah,
You
but
can't- there's no,
Gotcha.
wait, I'm just going to give you an equivalent. There's no short man shaming. No, you don't hear the men crying about that. Women, by
they
and
do
large,
cry about it.
no, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Do you see short men being pushed to be on the cover of magazines? where they say we need more short men, short male models.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Where they're putting plus size women on the cover of magazines.
Tom Cruise
okay.
is short as
I think he's like 5'8" to 5'10", which is average actually. Like most women don't know. Only 15% of men over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I think everyone should be positive about what they have. Like, you know what? If you don't have money, like, own it. Be happy with yourself.
And
Just because a woman doesn't want you, that's okay.
It's fine. I agree with you, but I'm saying like men have to deal with the consequences. Like an average chick can still sleep with an NBA player. Who's like a top 10%.
They want.
Okay.
Bro.
I'll give you an example. Okay.
She's delusional.
I've had guys on that level message me. I think I'm an average chick. I would never in my right mind think that any of them would take me like.
But you're rich.
But I'm.
Pearl,
it's not about being rich. If they're on that level, they don't care about her money, bro.
They don't care about your money.
No,
they don't.
Some men do.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
She's delusional. She's delusional.
From rich background.
She wasn't raised in Africa. She wasn't raised in Africa.
Okay.
She wasn't.
Men
She wasn't.
don't care about your money. So
Some
that's
men
nothing.
do. Some do.
That's bums.
Some
Bums
do.
care about your money.
No,
Okay,
it's
I
the
personally don't like bums. That's just not my thing. That might be your thing.
Okay, you want a high value man.
I'm not saying high value.
Understand.
I'm saying I don't like guys that don't have jobs. Just for me.
Can I just say something that's going to shock everybody? I would like to hear what Denarva's got to say now.
Oh my days! You know how much I've been holding on to my seat. Like, when is it my turn to unleash everything that's been in my head? Okay, cool. Question was again, sorry.
What do you disagree with from the red pill?
What I disagree with the red pill movement is the fact that it fails to understand that it has extreme limitations because you focus a lot on the extremities of things. And I will revert that back to me. I don't think the red pill addresses the fact that there were a lot of housewives that were left widowed quite young and therefore had no choice but to step up in transition into a strong and evolved modern woman. And I say that because my dad passed away when I was 12, and I didn't have...
They don't understand that. How that doesn't even make... What? Hold on. Let's let her land before I kind of dissect this.
...a man in my life to be able to show me the way. Not only because there's really just not many men in my life, because my mom focused her energies and efforts into raising us and providing for us because she didn't have a man. And I don't think it would be fair to even expect my mom to, when we're all 12, 13, 14, to go and find a new man, because actually that creates even more issues within the home for us to even to accept him, especially because we had a close relationship with my dad. With that said, what the red pill movement fails to address, empathize with, and look for a solution is for all the women and the men that come from these sorts of homes where actually it is not your fault that you are a product of your environment.
But they educate you. They educate you to tell you what are the probabilities of you, what happens when you come from those type of environments, and what type of tendencies people who come from those environments might have, and how you need to operate to offset that and put yourself in the best position. So I don't think she's chatting shit. They do address that in terms of, you know, if you come from single parent households, how you best give yourself a chance, how you have to assume accountability over oneself and move forward with extreme ownership of your actions and your life decisions, and assuming responsibility for every good thing and bad thing that happens to you, and making sure and ensuring that you have the best possible chance to succeed by putting yourself in the best possible environments. It addresses all that. And if people are unfortunate enough to be in a situation where a husband dies and they have to assume the position of head of the family, then that is unfortunate, but that is okay. But that is not the majority, so that is not why it's at the forefront, because the majority of people are not in situations where, you know, their husband passes and they have to assume that responsibility. It's not really something that happens, like it happens obviously around the world, but it's not like something that happens for the majority on a regular. So it's not spoken about because it's not very prevalent, as we say. So why do we need to keep mentioning it? I don't understand. She makes no sense.
So when you're telling me about housewife, you're masculine, you're this, you're that, I have to say, my mom raised 4 daughters on her own. By my age, the 4 of us moved freshly to the UK.
As she should.
Of course she's going to hustle. Of course I'm going to go through education. Of course I'm going to work. Of course I'm going to have to be strong with myself because there's no man to protect me. So because I've had this sort of background, I've had this sort of...
But that's where your mom messed up, because she did not give you the... She didn't spit game. She didn't give her the game to understand that, look, you must do this to survive. You must do this to ensure that you get to the best possible position for yourself. But when you find that person, be ready and ensure that you're ready to, put that aside for the sake of the family. And also understand that if that person, ends up in a situation like your dad or whatever, someone passes away, you are equipped with the necessary skills and the tools to then bounce back and, lead your family as you should.
Of experience. People tell me your traumas make you less likable, or maybe you're too masculine as a woman. No, I am a survivor of a woman, actually, because I didn't have men around me. And I am actually, again, also
That's why you're masculine.
capable of being a
Makes
wife.
sense.
I know how to cook. I know how to actually...
Capable, but you do not want to because you're not portraying the values necessary. You are combative, you are too headstrong, and as you say, you want to argue to the last death on every little small thing. Come on now.
Speak to my man, please, and verbally and physically.
Okay, so
What's the
disagreement?
And I'll explain to you the submission side of things, where I've actually, the whole show, I've proved that without having any friction with Andrew Tate. As much as he may even say that may not be desirable or not, but I come up with my own solutions where I don't have to compromise who I am, but I can still please you as a man. You told me your favorite car is that one, even though I like that one. I'm like, do you know what? I like that one, but looking at yours is really nice too, I really like you. You got good taste. It's that simple. What people what people are failing to do with the Red Pill movement is to understand that there can be a compromise. Because I've had to compromise my life as a woman to be able to survive, because I didn't have a man around me.
Okay, you think the Red Pill doesn't believe in compromise?
No, it doesn't deal with the victims of society, of situations that it's just life.
Okay.
It does, and it tells you to accept what has happened to you and move forward. I don't know.
Do you have any points for them? Both of those.
Yeah, I can talk about the red pill. I can complain about it just too. I think there is. To be fair, I do think there is a lot of angry, bitter men which are attracted to.
That is true.
And those are the ones that will leave these stupid comments. My point was my point is that they're already being punished by God and by society, so don't worry about it. My point is that if a woman doesn't act correctly, she doesn't feel the true sting of punishment, not in her prime years. She may feel it later, but in her prime years, it doesn't fucking even matter, which is why they do it. Whereas if a man doesn't have his shit in order, trust me, he knows very well, because his reality sucks. And that's why he's sending you DMs, because he's lonely, because if he had a life, he wouldn't bother, right? So there's that part of it. It does attract a lot of angry, bitter people, but I think that's because life's very difficult as a man, like we said earlier, and some of them end up angry and bitter. The answer to all things, I believe, whether you're a man or you're a woman, to try and heal all rifts between the genders. I think whether you're a man or you're a woman, the answer to all things in life is to take absolute and utter self-accountability for all the good and all the bad. You must look
as
at
I
yourself
said,
and
because
realize
I know
everything
this
good
shit
that
like
happened
the
in your
back
life is
of
your
my
fault. Everything bad
hand.
that happens in your life is completely your fault. And with that, having that high degree of absolute accountability, it doesn't matter. Even if it rains outside, I blame myself, because I didn't have to be in London, right? I could have stayed in Dubai, and it wouldn't have rained. So I'm responsible for absolutely everything. And if you do that, you pay attention to things and you try your very best to mitigate the negative circumstances and work your hardest, you're going to have a pretty good life. I just want to finish by saying that I believe that men and women are best as a team. I don't think any woman will be truly happy without a man, and I certainly know that no man will be happy without a woman. I think it's absolutely beautiful when we work as couples and we create families and we stick to our strengths. When men stick to what they're good at and a woman sticks to what they're good at, that makes them the most powerful team on the planet. And the world we're living in now, we have societal pressures and propagandas which are trying very hard to divide and split the genders. But truthfully, the power and the beauty of the universe relies on us working together. So,
preaching.
It's been very nice speaking to you, ladies. I'm only upset that you ran out of clementines and I'm stuck with limes.
I was going to say, give this man an orange. And those are my limes, so you can
There's
keep
melon
them.
out there.
Oh, okay, we got melon. But yeah, all in all, I think it's good, and I also think that discussion is very, very important. And I think that a lot of these issues are delicate and they're nuanced, and people listening to conversations like these and hearing the different points of view and understanding each other is a fantastic way to progress. And we're entering brand new territory, and it's never been done before. And perhaps you can call me old-fashioned. I don't think it's going to be as good as it was in the olden days, but we're going to find out. So interesting.
Okay, thank you guys all for coming. We'll do a little round of applause for the panel. So why don't we go around, and any final thoughts, any social media you want to plug, you can do it now. So start here and then go around.
I mean, I'm good.
Okay.
You already know who she is. I have more like a request. Is that okay? Could you say my name, please?
I can't pronounce it.
Dinalva.
Dinalva.
That's it.
Dinalva.
Top G. Dinalva. And Andrew Tate.
Dinalva.
Sagittarius team representing.
Okay.
Follow me on the gram, dinalva.ao. He said the name, so you know it's legit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pearl.
My final thoughts, with just reflecting on everything we've been speaking about, I just think men and women, we need to listen to each other. I picked up a lot on what Tate was saying about how women need to be a bit more agreeable, make their man feel like he's the only one. Agreed. But also, men need to listen to women as well. She needs to feel protected. She needs to feel like you're going to be there. You're not going to leave her for another woman. She needs to feel secured. Like, can we all just listen to each other and what we want in each other? And that's the only way we can strengthen the family unit. That's all I have to say. And please follow me, Esther, your Nigerian queen.
Stop repping Niger, man. Stop it. Stop
Auntie, you wanna
it.
go?
Stop it. You have to stop it. You have to stop it. You're not
Seriously.
representing Niger
You're
values,
guilty.
man. You're representing the modern Niger.
Uncle,
Niger woman.
I just think that my final thoughts, when it's out there, it's out there. You said it, you said it. That's how I feel. And yes, we've all been through trauma. I'm sick of hearing about it. I don't mind if you got trauma you don't know. But if you know you got trauma, sort it out. I don't want to hear about it. Call me lack of empathy. No, just like a bullshit. You know you got trauma, sort it out. And sometimes when people are talking, women need to listen. Sometimes women need to spend too much time talking. Because I'm sure that half of what Mr. Tate said was totally lost or mixed around or misunderstood. And I don't give a shit if anybody thinks I'm rude. This is who I am, and if you don't like it, it's tough because I ain't changing. My final thoughts.
Tell them to subscribe to your YouTube. She just hit
Oh, shit,
15,000.
I'm not even. I'm not even.
I made you a
savvy.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, and Auntie Jenny, American spelling with the Y, Jenny, YouTube. Instagram is nothing on this, so don't go on Instagram.
Tell them about your call-in show.
Oh, yeah, and I have a call-in show. And I'd like to have a call-in show, the next one. Women can phone in and disagree with anything I've said. Anybody that wants to phone in and disagree, phone in live, disagree with me, I'll take it. Whatever you disagree with me on, I'm going to have a disagreement show. Phone up and disagree with me. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because I can do it. Because I'm a female OG. I learned that the other
Doesn't
day.
sound very
She is an OG.
I learned
She
that
is
the
an
other
OG.
day.
Andrew, do you have anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, my Instagram.
Niger's hating. Niger's hating.
My
YouTube.
my YouTube banned. My Facebook banned. I've got MySpace. Anyone got MySpace?
No, you.
Thomas can ban me. I'm on MySpace. Find me on MySpace. No,
You know Rumble.
I'm on Rumble. Yeah, I was about to say. I'm on Rumble, which is better than YouTube in every way. Sorry, YouTube. Rumble.com/Tate Speech, and the website is CobraTate.com. But most people tell me, listen, I can't avoid your face on Instagram or TikTok anyway, so it doesn't matter if I'm banned because I'm still around. But CobraTake.com, I recommend to people, if you like what I say, I have a free email list. Sign up to the free email list. I send an email every single day about different topics. Some are for the guys, some are for the girls, but they're all on there.
Tate speech, that's sick.
Tate Speech.
Okay, thank you guys all for coming. Guys, like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. Make sure you sign up for our memberships, especially our second tier. If you want to see me freestyle rap, sign up for the second tier memberships. It's in the behind the scenes vlogs. Like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Jeez. Yo, guys, we made it through that. That is long, you know. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we made it through that. I'll probably upload this in the morning because this is going to be long to do now. Like, I'll probably shoot another video right now and then upload it. It's the Piers Morgan. You see it anyway. I'm taking too long. I'm tired. It's like midnight over here. I got beauty sleep to catch. Anyway, guys, it's been real. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the video. Make sure you drop comments down below. Leave a like. Definitely subscribe. Get your boy to 1K subscribers. Come on. Can't have your boy liking like this with 98 subs. That's ridiculous. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until next time. Peace. Deuces. And as I always say, spread love, not Warcraft. Peace.